The road to becoming a racing driver is long. It takes more than just being fast in a car. It takes guts, determination, and plenty of money. People say that it makes it a sport for millionaire playboys. I'm living proof there's another way. My name is Jan Mardenborough. I was a gamer, and now I'm a professional race car driver. I've invited 10 of the best racing gamers in the world to take part in a life-changing competition. The prize? To become a pro race car driver. We'll push them to the limits to see who can make the leap from virtual to real racing. Helping me judge the gamers will be racing legend Juan Pablo Montoya and last year's winner, Rudy Van Buren. We've got 10 gamers and 10 days to find the next world's fastest gamer.
It's taken more than 700 years for ABK beer to be exported from Germany, but finally, we can all enjoy it. Brewed in Bavaria to the same exacting standards since 1308, ABK beer, awarded Supreme Champion at the International Beer Challenge, is crafted from only the very finest German barley, yeast, and hops, using the purest of alpine waters. ABK beer, 700 years of Bavarian tradition and heritage.
Hello and welcome back to the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. We may have taken a week off, but the action won't slow down. In fact, we're going to be well over 200 miles an hour today. Here's what we're looking at. Monaco, Indianapolis, and Le Mans. The Triple Crown is the holy grail of motorsport. Many have come close, but only one man, Graham Hill, has won all three iconic races. Tonight, we are at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for round 2 of the Rocket Triple Crown, as the fastest sim drivers, real-world racers, and the legends of motorsport take on the famous Brickyard. After race 1 at Monaco, 6 drivers across the series are still in contention to win a race at all 3 tracks and a $25,000 prize. In the Sim Masters, the best virtual racers in the world once again go head-to-head, while in the Pro Cup, stars of some of the best series such as Formula 1, World Endurance Championship, Formula E, and IndyCar will aim to take glory. In the Legends Trophy, icons of motorsport will be back on the circuits that they became heroes on. But can anyone stop Fernando Alonso, who has become the driver to beat? He's chasing victory at Indianapolis in real life, but a win here tonight will also take him one step closer to the Rocket Triple Crown. It's time for another night of 6 more thrilling races in the All-Star Series, powered by Rocket Phones. Well, it's the Triple Crown, and off the top of the show tonight, we've got the 3 Kings. Jack's going to join us straight away. He's done being distracted and focusing on what matters. And, of course, Jolyon Palmer already with us, as always. Guys, this is going to be great. Jack, we've seen a little bit of Indy from the Legends, but now everyone gets to go super high speed.
Yeah, I think when we saw the Legends taking on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it was cool, but we kind of wanted a bit more. And I'm so excited to see the Legends at it again, but also the pros and the sim racers, because I think a lot of them have done a bit for a bit of fun, just driven around a couple of times and see what's happened. But I think for the large majority of them, both in the real world and in the sim world, this is going to be their first real race on an oval. So it's going to be super cool.
Well, and you'll notice I called us the Three Kings, not the Three Wise Men, and that's because only one of us is wise. Jolyon, you've seen all of this. You've seen every week. You're welcome. What's your thoughts heading into Indy now for, again, the sim and pro guys, a little bit of a different look?
Yeah, really, really excited about this. We saw a taster with the Legends. I have to say, it was such fun. Chaos, the unknown. We normally get that with the Legends anyway, but for the pros and the sim racers, they're not used to this. And it's one thing driving around and getting a feel for it. It's another thing when you're in the thick of racing action. And we've seen chaos at the best of times. I'm expecting a lot today.
Well, there's lots of action today. We'll look at that now as our schedule is brought up before you. It's 15 minutes for both the pro and sim categories, and then 18 minutes for the Legends. They need a little more time to figure it out, I think. And of course, then we follow that with the reverse grid. So 6 races, 1 qualifying, and that qualifying determines your grid position in the reverse grid. And there's been a bunch of rules changed on that. You got to be within a certain grid parameter now. It's 107% rule still applies. No one can play that tactic. And Jack, I don't know, around Indy, that might be not something I'd look forward to anyway, because if you're fast, you should be able to draft and get through the pack.
Yeah, I think the reverse grid race is going to be really intense, actually, especially for the Sim Masters, because it's not going to be the same as Monaco a week ago, where if you're starting at the back, it's pretty tricky to overtake. Here, I think it's going to be doable, but incoming through the pack, in reverse grid racing, you always have the opportunity for wrecks, which I think is going to be much bigger here at Indy. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but is reverse grid racing on ovals a thing, or are we sort of inventing that?
We might be inventing that. I'm sure maybe it's been done somewhere, but not at a high level that I can think of at all. Yeah. So that would be pretty interesting. There's no question about it. Just to note as well, this is the Triple Crown. To touch on the oval aspect in terms of Indy winners, obviously we've got Tony Kanaan, Hélio Castroneves, and Montoya, who's won it twice. Le Mans is our final. We've got Emanuele Pirro. He's a 5-time winner. Brabham and Alonso obviously in that. And then Monaco, you've got, again, Montoya and Alonso. So no one among our drivers has won it in real life. We mentioned Graham Hill's the only one to do so, but we've got 2 drivers that have come pretty damn close, and they're both actually still in contention. So maybe the virtual one counts, Jolyon. I don't know. Maybe it's at least a feather in the cap.
Well, look, they'll want to win it because racing drivers are competitive and it counts for something. But I think there'll be some mumbles from other people if this was to count outright. But, it's still a lot of kudos. Winning in 3 very different disciplines, the oval, the endurance, the tight, twisty Monaco circuit, it separates the men from the boys.
Interestingly enough as well, Monaco, to your credit, Jack, you were saying it's the hardest to win because you've got to be in the right car. The guys that have 2, it's Monaco. They're the only ones that have it. So maybe that's testament to that. In fact, Indy, we say, and you touched on it, Jolyon, that you've got a lot more drafting. Anyone can kind of win it. You got to be a bit lucky, but it's certainly, it's a tough one to chase as well. But I don't know. I'm interested to see how this goes because Alonso, he hasn't won it in real life, but he dominated this last time, Jack. Is there a chance maybe he does it again?
I think there's a really strong possibility. It's going to be fascinating to see what Alonso can do when we see him out on track.
Well, we'll look back at Monaco. I mentioned in real life, that's the one that Montoya and Alonso have above everyone else that's got to win in the Triple Crown Challenge, shall we call it. It was an exciting week of racing, a very chaotic week as well. Obviously, Jolyon, it's a tight circuit. You've been there. It was no different in sim.
No, it's tricky. And we saw some absolute chaos last week. The reverse grid really lent itself perfectly to that with the faster drivers coming through. We saw some good overtaking as well, some nice moves, and some dominant drives. We saw it all, really.
We'll take a look at some of it now as we talk through. Obviously, reverse grid, we keep going to Alonso, but he was dominating those previously in the Legends Trophy. But obviously, the fact of the matter is getting through. He didn't have quite the same success, Jack. A bit more challenge. In fact, Andy Priu won his first race in the reverse grid.
Yeah, it was a really, really busy race. So let's take a look back at the action from 2 weeks ago. Decent start from Roland. Very good start from Canapino. Can he get up into second place on the run into turn 1? Yes, he can. Oh, there's chaos. Chaos at Sandervoort.
And then we go up the inside, Van Uyter. That's a really nice, clean move. Mirabeau.
And round the outside. Lovely job. And here comes Job Van Uyter across the line to take the win in the reverse grid race. Pretty decent start from the top two. Can Kasdorp get up into third place? He's been put in the wall. Here we go. This is going to get busy here. 3 wide, and we're going to go down into Sandervoort. And there's a spin. Here is Blakely, though. What a drive this has been from the Scot. Yuri Kasdorp's been hit, and he's up, and he's over the barriers, and he's into the casino. Terzic colliding with the dad, and they're both over and upside down. It's a huge accident. Jan van der Heide out across the line to take his and Zancho's first win. What's Castroneves doing? He's taken the lead of the race. Maybe he thinks that is where the track goes. Alonso hits the back of him.
Oh, he's gone in deep. Beauty of a move.
Fernando Alonso out through Anthony Nogues to win the Legends Trophy race.
Alonso there has just done a nice path on the Italian, and he's wheeling. He's wheeling.
And he sends it in swimming pool. Castroneves goes round. Andy Priaulx wins the reverse grid race in the Legends Trophy.
Well, it's good that we warned everyone there was lots of chaos, because I think those highlights certainly showed that tons of carnage out of turn 1 especially. It seemed like everyone on the run up the hill was jumping over each other at times. Pretty nuts, pretty insane. Maybe we'll get some more 3-wide action, Jack, but wider this time at Indy.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think I'm just as scared with 3-wide action at India than I am with Monaco, actually. It's going to be really, really cool.
Well, welcome back again to the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. We continue our Rocket Triple Crown, challenge, if you want to call it a challenge. It certainly is for a lot of drivers. We've got a few new names to introduce as always, but one that's kind of interesting, impacts in terms of legend, spans across many different disciplines of motorsport, and has certainly taken extreme sports to the limit. Travis Pastrana is joining us, Jack. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, it really is. Let's have a word with him now, shall we? It's Travis, it's fantastic to have you with us. We've seen you race all sorts. Is this your first foray into the sim racing esports world?
For esports, I've done a little bit of rallycross, but this is the first time. I just got this new all-sports sim. Juan Montoya has been trying to take me through the steps here. This is the first time driving an IndyCar sim or real life, so it should be fun.
And how are you getting on with it? Basically, what are you hoping for today?
I haven't had a lot of time in this, so just hoping to stay out. I think there's going to be a lot of crashing, a lot of carnage. If I can stay out of that, I think I might have a shot to do okay, but I'll probably be the one causing most of it. So I'm just going to try to make any enemies out there. It's an all-star cast.
Yeah, it's a really cool lineup, isn't it? There's so many legendary people in there. Are there any that stand out for you?
Oh my gosh, I was giddy. I was like a kid in a candy shop when I was just kind of looking down this race order. And when Juan Montoya was like, "Hey, do you want to get in the race?" I was like, "Yes." You don't have to ask me twice. I don't know that the result's going to be up too good, but we got the Subaru livery on there, and we're going to see if we can all-wheel drive this IndyCar.
Okay, best of luck. I don't think that's going to go well.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, at least if there's chaos, maybe he's the one for car control. Maybe, hopefully it goes well. I said there's a few guys we want to introduce. We've got another one, a good friend of yours, Jack. Karun Chandok is going to be jumping in with the Legends today, which is pretty special. Obviously known now from commentary, but he's done a lot of racing in the past.
Yeah, let's check in with Karun, shall we? Karun Chandok joining the Legends Trophy this weekend. You're officially a legend now, Karun. How does that feel?
Probably the least legendary legend, I think, Jack. Just looking forward to it. I thrown in at the deep end my first ever esports race. I haven't even done a race on iRacing yet. So, straight into some Indy chaos, I think.
And how much work have you been putting in? How much have you sort of watched ovals in the past? How much of that are you trying to implement in your running today?
Well, I called Dario up because I thought, he's wandered on there. He must be helpful. And he was absolutely of no use to me. And we instead went into a qualifying competition around Goodwood in a Ferrari Schumacher car. So that was of no use. And then last night, Jason Plato, David Brabham, and Fernando actually jumped in. So we did a couple of practice races. And then Plato convinced us that we had to all change our steering settings. And then we spent most of the night changing it all back. So it's been an interesting start to this esports adventure.
But you've got a really cool livery today. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I do lots of stuff with Williams, Heritage, and the old cars. And, one of my favorite cars is going to be the Mansell 92 car. And I thought, okay, I know we're racing at Indy, but it's just a cool livery. So when they asked what I'd like on the car, I decided to go with that one.
Cool. Well, best of luck. Enjoy your day.
I'll try.
See you later.
Such a humble guy. I love that he talked about everyone changing settings, because we've all done that, anyone who's played a sim, and it's a lot of muscle memory that you suddenly reprogrammed. Luckily around here, not as many corners. We'll take a look at the track map now. However, they're all taken at very high speed, and you have to be very delicate. And I think that's a lot of the reason guys change their settings for ovals, is because they don't want to be too rough on the wheel, shall we say. Just a note before I throw it to you guys, everyone is in the Dallara, so this will be the first time for the Sim and Pro. The Legends, Jack, they've obviously driven this car in our previous season when we did Indy.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a bit of experience in this. It'll be the first time we can sort of directly compare the lap times as well, which is going to be really interesting to see. But yeah, all of these drivers out in modern Indy cars.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get into the racing as soon as we get back in just a second, because the pros will start us off. We'll see how pro they are at going in circles, or if maybe they're a little lost with only left-hand corners. Well, there's tons of stuff going on track. Certainly we'll see lots of action. Some of the pros are familiar. I should mention Gabby Chavez, guys like that have done ovals before. But if you want to go in circles as well, maybe chase after some competition, you can do so, and here's how. If you'd like the chance to win a Rocket phone featuring 3D screen technology, just go to rocketphones.com and tell us, what is the name of the former Formula One Vice World Champion who currently drives for the Rocket Venturi Formula E team? Not only that, there will be some great offers available exclusively to race fans on rocketphones.com right now, with huge discounts of up to 60% on selected handsets. Still want more? Well, we've got you covered. You can also receive a free pair of Rocket earbud headphones when you buy any phone. All you need to do is enter the promo code RACEOFFER. This contest is open to all race fans, no matter where you live in the world. So why wait? Head to rocketphones.com right now to check out the deals. And of course, that's the prize for you guys at home. Head over there now, get involved. The prize for the drivers, the Triple Crown, we touched on it. It's kind of straightforward, but I'll introduce a concept here at the end, because we said there's 6 drivers still in contention. A driver, in order to be in contention, has to win at least one of the races on each weekend. And we'll talk about that a little bit further, because next week at Le Mans, although there's a few sprint races, you essentially have to win the 1 hour. I can announce that now. It'll be roughly an hour endurance race, 3 different classes, but that's how you got to do it. So there can only be one, despite that there's 2 races in these 2 weekends. It's a little bit different next weekend. There's our 6. Ollie Rowland, John Van Oyta, Jan van der Heide, Lucas Blakely had a great win last week. Andy Prio, we mentioned him getting his first victory. And of course, Fernando Alonso, who maybe, if I was looking at that, Jolyon, is the one that stands out with the best chance.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been so dominant, hasn't he? Even in Monaco, the reverse grid, he was about 30 or 40 seconds off the back, and then still managed to finish on the podium around Monaco. So he's already done the double when we did Indy, last month?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's a danger for this one, and then Le Mans. But Le Mans can be a bit unpredictable as well.
Well, and where it's an hour, or roughly an hour now is what we're being told, that makes it a lot more exciting. And you're going to have 3 classes on track. Here's a look at the onboard. Just to note as well, if you're a pro driver or a legend, you win the Triple Crown, you get $25,000 to give to charity. If you're a sim driver and you win the Triple Crown, that $25,000, well, that's a cash prize, which is pretty epic. Jolyon, this is obviously Travis Pastrana taking us around the track.
Yep, left-hander, turn 1. Keep your foot flat down. left-hander, turn 2. I have to say, oval's not my speciality, but I know where they go. Back straight and then 2 more left.
Well, you know what? Travis Pastrana might need a co-driver. You might be the man for the job. We're going to get into it in just a sec. Well, we're going to get started on the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones with, as always, our pro drivers. A few of them with some experience going left, some maybe not. We'll find out who's fast, slipstream a factor, take a look at our drivers list because there is a few different people involved. And I mentioned another introduction that we had to do. Karun, his longtime teammate, might be a legend, but Bruno Senna is going to go in the hard way against all the pros.
Yeah, Bruno Senna going in for Williams Esports, which is going to be cool to see what he can do. Job van Uitert there, who is the man leading the championship in the Pro Cup, having got a win last time out. Archie Hamilton, Agustin Canapino, one to watch out for. Beitske Visser in there too. But I think the running order, as it were, that we've seen for basically this whole series is going to be changing a little bit, you know?
I just want to point out...
They're going to be a bit different on ovals.
Well, and just to point out, because we're switching to the second page, and there was another name in the middle of that, Connor Daly, obviously an active IndyCar driver. He'll be one to watch, surely, but another great name. Ollie Rowland, another one of our guys that's in for the running, Jolyon. This is, you know, a chance for him to maybe get a second win if he can sneak one through today.
Yeah, Rowland was really impressive last time. It was his first time in the series, and he won in Monaco. So very different track, but I still expect him to be competitive. And Stefan Wilson as well.
Good point. Yeah.
You know, he's had a turn in Indy, and I expect he'll be quite quick.
And that's part of it. 3 different tracks, very different, but 3 different cars as well for these guys throughout this challenge. We're on track. We're underway. The pros for qualifying around the Indianapolis Oval.
And we are on board with Oliver Rowland, race winner from pole position in Monaco last time out. He has been really taking this sim racing stuff seriously. It's been fantastic to watch. He was a guest on the Race Esports podcast that you can download at your leisure from a couple of weeks ago. Seb Montoya at the top of the times at the moment. Rowland comes across and he takes provisional pole position, but only by thousandths of a second over Seb Montoya. Dillman in third, Van Uitert in fourth, fifth in is Di Francesco, Canapino, Smith, Vautier, Ingram and Senna, the top 10. But in a 42nd lap, Jolyon, 3 minutes to go, we're going to get quite a lot of running, I think, in these qualifying sessions.
And I'd suspect they're just going to get quicker and quicker until the end as they build up speed and just manage to fine-tune, minimising the scrap, basically, through those 4 left-handers. As Dillman heads into turn 1, he's just gone to the top of the time. Seb Montoya back to the top of the times. I wonder if Seb Montoya, you know, he's going to have a few tips and tricks in his locker, surely, from Dad. Juan Pablo has won this race 2 times, the Indy 500. He knows an oval pretty well, and Seb looks to be pretty quick from the off.
Certainly does. Here is Tom Dillman running in second at the moment as he comes through the final corner and out onto the start straight. It is Montoya at the top at the moment, Dillman in second, but Dillman's done purple sector 1, purple sector 2, and that puts him back onto provisional pole position then, Tom Dillman. Good work from the Frenchman.
Van Uitert up to 4th. He was the man of the day on the first round in Monaco. One of the men that can still challenge for the Triple Crown, but not with that. 6th place at the moment. But I wonder, being right at the front isn't as critical, clearly, as it was in Monaco. Monaco, street circuit, difficult to overtake. Being absolute top dog, pole position, it's going to count for a lot less here. But you're still not going to want to be further down outside of the sort of top 2 or 3 rows, because that's when there's going to be more chance for chaos. You want to be towards the front, but absolutely pole position, far less essential than it was last time out.
Bruno Spengler's there. Now Seb Montoya back to the top. Into second goes Job van Uitert. Bradley Smith is in 4th. Dillman and Rowland immediately down to 5th and 6th positions. Job van Uitert was quickest in the final sector. On board with Oliver Rowland up in the top, who competed in the Le Mans 24 Hours a week ago after winning in the Formula E Race at Home Challenge and Monaco here at the Race All-Star Series a week before that. He's on the back straightaway. Job van Uitert is going quick again. You can see him there, just trying to put the minimal steering inputs in, right up to the wall. Job van Uitert across the line. Surely this is going to be provisional pole position. cuts the timing beam, and it is not by just a fraction of a second. Spengler's still there in third, and Spengler's a driver we haven't really seen at the front of the order a huge amount over the course of the sort of season so far. So good to see him up there. Bruno Senna jumps into third.
Good job from Bruno Senna. Van Uytert, it was interesting how smooth he is at the wheel. Let's see Bradley Smith in just his minimal corrections. Well, you don't want any corrections at the wheel here, and it's just minimal input. And let's see what Smith can do as he comes across the line. This is looking pretty quick, and it is. Smith up to second place, so good job from him.
Montoya still there, quickest, unless anyone comes across the line pretty soon. They're not going to be able to stop him, and they're not. So it is Seb Montoya that starts on pole position for the first race. Bradley Smith second, Job van Uytert in third spot, Dillman fourth, Senna in fifth. So Senna and Spengler, for me, were the standout drivers in that one. I have to say, it was good stuff from a pair of them to be up towards the front of the order, maybe a little more than we usually expect them to be. But really excited to see what's going to unfold around this Indianapolis circuit, this oval circuit, the first Indy 500 held in 1911, so one of the oldest permanent race circuits in the world, and based on Brooklands, I believe, wasn't it? Here's a look at the grid then. Seb Montoya on pole, Bradley Smith alongside him, Job van Uytert and Tom Dillman completing the top four. Then we have got Bruno Senna and Bruno Spengler on 5th and 6th, Canapino and Rowbottom completing the top 8. A reminder that it is Job van Uytert at the top of the standings, 20 points clear of Tom Dillman, and then it is Canapino in 3rd and Rowland in 4th. Rowland only 9th quickest after that qualifying. There's Stefan Wilson in 14th spot, a man with a lot of real-life Indianapolis experience. Beitske Visser in 15th position. Maro Engel making his debut, the former current GT racer, former Formula E racer. Yaya Fay starts behind him. Connor Daly down in 21st place. Christodoulou in 22nd. Calderon and Pull completing the top 24. Then we've got Ross Gunn and Martin Plowman at the back of the field. Well, the cars, as you can see, are on the back straightaway, completing their rolling up lap. And it's going to be a fascinating charge down towards the first corner, and then the subsequent 18 laps of action in the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. The virtual grandstands are packed. It is Seb Montoya who is going to be at the front. The red car alongside him on the outside on the run to turn 1 is going to be Bradley Smith. Then row 2 is Van Uytert and Dillman. Senna and Spengler are on the 3rd row of the grid. There you can see Seb on the inset getting some pretty experienced advice from Juan Pablo to his right. The pace car pulls in, we go green, and it's a good start from Montoya, immediately moving out in front of Bradley Smith. Van Uytert holding on to that 3rd position. No, I think he's going to get past as they come in 3 wide for 3rd place. Coming into turn 1, do they all make it through safely? Yes, they do. But Smith and Montoya right together into turn 2, and now onto the back straightaway.
They're still 3 wide just behind, but the lead battle very, very close then. Smith running alongside Montoya, and then look at that gaggle behind. The top 2 just breaking away, and Smith there with the challenge for the lead, but not around the outside of that time.
Very close between those two. Dillman is in 3rd, Van Uytert is in 4th, Canapino is 5th, Rowbottom is 6th. There's a yellow flag out there. Yaya Fay's been given a penalty for something. We're on board with Rowbottom up in the top right as they come over the line again to complete the first tour. And it is Montoya still ahead of Bradley Smith, but only just. And then it is still all action for 3rd place. Dillman, Van Uytert, Rowbottom and Canapino all battling it out, and somehow they are still facing the right way as the leaders go side by side down towards turn 3 again.
Looking set, that's Rowbottom in 6th. There's 3 cars just ahead. Van Uytert, Vautier, Dillman, all running super close. The top 2 still side by side, halfway around lap 2, completing lap 2. And they've been like that since the start. But this gaggle behind, they need to start working together to get back towards the top 2. Montoya and Smith at the moment running their own race.
Here they come. Tucked right underneath is Bradley Smith. They're going to want to work together, and you would have thought, and try and pull away from the cars behind. But Montoya seems to be defending quite often and holding the line. Rowbottom there has got up into third position. The top two are still right together. Montoya ahead of Smith. They're not swapping places as much as I thought they would be. Montoya's being a little more defensive than maybe you'd expect. Tristan Vautier, we're on board within the top right as third place looks set to change again. Vautier to the outside now on the run down into one. The two leaders are side by side and it's almost four abreast coming into turn one that time, and it is still Rowbottom running in third spot.
Unbelievably clean so far. I can't believe that second group haven't tangled yet. Montoya's defending as if his life depends on it out front, but now look at this. All the rest of the gaggle are closing in. So Smith, they've not played the team game, Montoya and Smith out front. They maybe had a chance to break away. They've not done that, and now look, the rest of the gaggle's there basically. That's everyone down to Bruno Senna in 9th place. Then there's a big break, but the top 9 now separated by pretty much nothing. Look at that.
Wow, so Vautier has joined the fight for the lead, and he immediately looks to the outside as they come into turn one. That's going to be a bold one if he can get round the outside there, Vautier. Very impressive stuff, and he's got up into the lead for the moment. They're still side by side onto the back straight, and Seb Montoya is back in front. Vautier in second, Smith in third. But they're now getting into the stage where you've got to be so careful coming into turn 3 that you don't make too dramatic a movement, because it could end up in a big wreck. Through 3 and 4 now and out onto the front straight again. Montoya still leading somehow.
We lost Rowbottom that lap. Big crash through turn 1, and he went with someone as well. Not entirely sure who it was, but Rowbottom and someone else have just had a big crash on that last lap and fallen right down and probably out. Montoya now just still holding everyone back. Canapino's in this fight from absolutely nowhere. Look how close it is.
That is Tristan Vautier down in the bottom left wearing VR. I got myself some VR for last week, and it is brilliant. I can't tell you how cool it is. But Vautier is running in third place at the moment because here's Agustin Canapino. The Argentinian has crept into the lead fight, and there goes Bradley Smith in the red car to the inside, to the outside there. And they're squeezed into the wall, and there's the big one. The wreck into the wall coming down into turn 1, and I'm not sure who I think it might have been Dillman going to the outside to try and get past, and that caused the chaos.
Smith, Dillman, Van Oyter all gone there, and they're dropping like flies now. There was 9 in this top fight. Now there's 2 side by side still for the lead, and they're trailed just by Bruno Senna. Canapino's gone as well. And we've now got a 3-car fight. Montoya still defending, still with just 1 car for company, really. And he's doing this all right. 7 laps out of 18 gone, and still Montoya not giving anyone a sniff of the inside.
So Montoya into turn 1 again. Canapino has got ahead of Headley after losing all that headway. And this is the look on board with Tristan Vautier then. Out onto the back straight. And there's, is that a little bit of bump drafting there maybe on the back straightaway? Vautier goes to the outside. And let us not forget, Tristan Vautier, former Indy Lights champion.
Another with experience around these ovals. He's dealt with this race really well, Vautier, coming from that melee just behind the front pack. And he is just bumping away at the back of Montoya a little bit. But right now, the two of them are clearing away from Bruno Senna, who's having a good drive. Really good debut, this from Senna. But he's dropping out of contention right now, halfway through the race. And Vautier has done a great job. But can he pass Montoya? Montoya just every time cutting to the inside. Here we go. This is a chance. Big overlap for Vautier. And he's done it.
So Vautier out in front now as we are in race 1 of the Race All-Star Challenge, part of this Triple Crown. We're on board with Seb Montoya. You can see him there in the bottom left. Out onto the front straight again. Vautier defends. They've got back marker coming up in front. They're going to have a little bit of traffic to deal with, so that'll make things a little bit more interesting as they swing through turn 1 onto the shoot straight into 2 and then out onto the back straight. Montoya and Vautier still together. Senna running all by himself in 3rd position. Agustin Canapino and James Headley have just swapped places, so Headley's up into 4th position. Here comes Vautier to the outside into 3, and he's back in front. Lap 10 of 18.
Just trading places at the moment. Montoya having a little nose to the inside, but the two of them looking pretty good.
Here's a look at where it all went wrong. It was there, just trying to get 4 wide. That was the initial contact, and they went spearing across, and that was a biggie. And Vautier, that was the view back from Vautier. Somehow he emerged unscathed from all of that.
I mean, that gap was so tiny on the outside. It was not really a goer, that move from, was it Van Uytert that was trying to do that move on the outside? There wasn't really a car's width, trying to go 4 wide. And that's what one bit of contact, and they just skewed across the rest of the track and took everyone else out, basically. So we've got 2 left, and this is them. Vautier just behind Montoya, and they're still side by side.
Just to jump in quickly, guys, watch the drafting, because even though the guy in first is defending, watch when they cross the line. The player in second is getting a huge draft to that line, so actually second might be where to be.
Montoya ahead of Vautier. Out onto the back straightaway again. Montoya covers the inside into 3. Vautier to the outside. Senna is still the 3rd place driver, not the back marker that they've just put a lap on. Someone facing the wrong way there on the exit of 2. Bradley Smith is in a nice little fight with Job van Uytert, who's holding on to that 6th place. Across the line now to start lap 13 of 18. And once again, the top 2 go side by side in towards turn 1. Vautier on the outside. Squeezes Montoya a little, but Montoya holds on in there. Bit more back marker action to come. And who was that getting a little bit out of shape? It was Montoya.
Dropped. He's got all out of shape coming out of 2, and that is potentially costly. Suddenly 2 seconds to Vautier. He's lost so much momentum, and Bruno Senna's now going to be charging up behind Seb Montoya. So he got out of shape. I wonder if that was with a back marker, but suddenly found himself on the inside. And I mean, he caught the moment, which was a good job for that. But 2.7 seconds, Vautier's now got this, surely.
Lap 14 of 18, 5 to go. Vautier in front, 2.7 seconds ahead of Montoya. Senna in 3rd. This is Michael Ben-Yahia running in 8th place at the moment. Beitske Visser in behind. In front is the fight between Van Uytert and Smith. So these 2 trying to recover after their crash earlier on. And we're on board with Ben-Yahia, the Moroccan who tucks into the slipstream. It's Van Uytert who goes defensive. Ben-Yahia drifts to the outside. This is Beitske Visser in 9th place. She's been, oh, that was a bit of a slide there. I think that was from Bradley Smith, and there's contact. Visser's in the wall. Big spin, big wreck.
Just got into the back of Bradley Smith. And as soon as you have a slight slide, when you're going at this speed with this amount of G-force as well, it's impossible to catch. And is this what happened to Montoya then? Or is this Montoya now fighting? Oh, did he touch the grass? And then just got up towards Vautier. Or was that that was Vautier there that Montoya got right up towards. Maybe just a slight contact, and it sent him right to the inside. Big moment, somehow saved it, but the race may well be gone there.
Yeah, I'm not sure the contact was. I think, as you say, he got a wheel on the grass, and then that got him a bit loose and tried to avoid hitting Vautier, basically. Senna in 2nd place then. He's got ahead of Montoya. So Bruno Senna up into 2nd spot, and Montoya down to 3rd. Here is a look at Oliver Turvey, another new racer for this weekend. Oliver Turvey, the Formula E driver for the Neo team. Now that those commitments have finished, he's here in the Race All-Star Series, and he's defending from Adam Christodoulou as they come down the back straight towards turn 3. Christodoulou, they're making contact all the way around by the looks of things. Maybe bump drafting a little, but Turvey holding on to 8th position at the moment. We go on board with Turvey as he comes onto the front straight once more. Christodoulou chasing him down over the line. And that's I think that's bump drafting.
That is definitely bump drafting. Christodoulou's probably looking at that pack of 3. Oh, he won't be looking at that for long. He's got to be catching that big slide there. But this pack of 3 is what he was aiming for, just to help Turvey to try and catch up this pack. But that's just put him on the back foot, that big slide. And now Turvey, look how much they are gaining with a bit of bump drafting. Don't know if that's technically allowed, but they're really gaining. And this is back to Montoya, top right now. But this battle here for 5th with one of last time's winners, Van Uytert, is pretty intense.
Meanwhile, Tristan Vautier is on to his final lap of the race. Here comes the battle for 5th place. Van Uytert on the inside in 5th position, Ben Yahir in 6th, Bradley Smith in 7th. A reminder that as far as the championship is concerned, Van Uitert is leading the championship, Dillman in 2nd, and as it stands, Van Uitert would extend his championship lead with Dillman not scoring particularly well in this one. They're all spreading out again further back, but Vautier is going to be the man who you can see on board with in the top right. Comes through the final corner. Who's that off? Onto the infield. Was that, it wasn't Smith. Ben Yahir, it was Bradley Smith. So for the second time, Bradley Smith has ended up in trouble in this race. Tristan Vautier across the line to take the win. Very good drive from Vautier, putting his oval experience to very good use indeed. And Seb Montoya will be frustrated, I think, with that second place, but I'm fairly confident that is his best result in the race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. And then Bruno Senna, podium on debut, impressive drive.
Really good that. Van Uitert dropped at the end as well. Van Uitert only 10th, the championship leader, is lost a few points. I think maybe contact with Smith, and he fell down. Here we go. The replay of it. On the inside, final. Oh, he's losing it on his own, and then he hits Smith, and they both spin to the infield. Right at the end of the race.
So the championship leader ends up losing a lot of places in the end there. Tristan Vautier takes the win. It is 2nd for Montoya, 3rd for Senna, after an impressive drive from the Brazilian. Canapino in 4th. That's going to do his championship good, actually, because he finished, he was 3rd in the standings coming into this one, so good haul of points for the Argentinian. Ben Yahir in 5th, Turvey, Christodoulou, Smith, Rowland and Van Uitert, the rest of the top 10. But Vautier taking the win, Montoya 2nd from pole position, and Seb Montoya did well there, I would say. Obviously didn't get the win that he would have wanted, having held the lead for so long, but I think that's the strongest performance that we've seen from him. And he was racing well in the early stages, wasn't he, Yves, despite being under a huge amount of pressure?
It clearly had very, very obvious tactics. Defend the inside, stay out of trouble, and it worked pretty well for him.
Pretty solid race overall. I think the defending was very clean, very impressive. I jumped in quickly just to note, though, oftentimes the guy in 2nd had the lead at the line, which was interesting. But poor Seb, I mean, I wonder maybe if they'd worked together, he and Smith, if they'd gotten away a little bit sooner, it might have been interesting. But Vautier is standing by, Jack.
Yeah, let's have a chat to him now, shall we? Tristan Vautier, congratulations, race win. But you didn't qualify super well, you know, so you had to fight through the order. It was a great race.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, the qualifying is interesting because you go around the track pretty easily flat, and you just gotta try to find that perfect line, or you're not sure, like, should I save some distance, or just really you have to like not turn the steering wheel at all. And it was very tight, but yeah, I knew the race was gonna be entertaining. To be honest, the practice has been a bit trying for us because it's hard with all the dirt here and slipstream to keep it clean sometimes because the cars tend to wash out of the line. So I tried to take it easy at first and kind of work my way up slowly. And then it was a fun battle with Seb. I tried not to fight too much so we could break away from the pack, and then tried to run the high line to force him low so he could use up his tires because I knew tire degradation.
It was a really great race, Tristan. Sorry to interrupt you, but we've got to go for a break. But congratulations.
And of course, as much as we have a championship, and apologies to Vautier for not getting to hear the rest of that, but obviously that's good points. We have to track the Triple Crown, and it's Oliver Rowland and Job Van Uyte that were in with contention in the Pro Cup. They finished 9th and 10th, so only one of them might still have a chance if they can pick up the reverse grid win. Nonetheless, a debutant in the podium, Bruno Senna. That was a heck of a run, especially through the pack at the start. I think he was like 7th or 8th, and he just kept it clean, Jack.
Yeah, really good drive. We can speak to Bruno now. Bruno, great to have you here in the Race All-Star Series. How did you enjoy a podium on debut? That's pretty decent.
It was good fun. Crazy racing on the oval. I had like a few days of thunder moments there where cars are just flying over you and you're like trying to just avoid it. And I was for a little while just kind of on my own because I was just a little bit too far behind the top two. And then at the end, I had a nice fight with Seb Montoya and finished P3. So it's not too bad. I mean, not very long that I have my sim, but it's lots of fun.
Yeah, how much? We haven't seen you racing here before. Your first weekend here. Have you been doing much elsewhere?
No, first race I've done was last weekend, the 24 Hour of Le Mans, the virtual. And unfortunately, we didn't have a podium result. But in any case, it was a good experience, and I'm enjoying the simulator more and more. So I'm a bit late to the party, but I'm sure I'm going to get lots of use of it.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you here. I can't let you go without asking you your thoughts about being in the Pro Cup when Karun Chandhok is in the Legend Trophy.
Yeah, I don't think Karun's a legend. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to lay it out there.
Great.
He's a legend on his own. It's fine. It's okay. Next time I want to be racing with him, though, and make sure that I make a mess of his race.
Okay, catch you later, Bruno. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
There we go. It's official.
I feel like I've heard that banter before somewhere about being a legend and not. I don't know where it possibly would have been.
Right. So,
just want to point
before
out...
I said if Anthony Davidson doesn't count as a legend, then Jolyon Palmer doesn't. If Karun Chandhok does,
there's been some cans of worms opened, I have to say, this week. So next week, I'm going to get practicing for Le Mans. Can't wait. I am excited. The endurance straight away.
Epic. I'm ready for it. I'll jump in and just pretend like I know what I'm talking about and try and analyze the whole thing. I want to point out something as well. Tristan Vautier, you mentioned it, Jack. He's using VR. That, I think, is our first VR victory in the All-Star Series. So pretty impressive. I know that Nick Hamilton was involved a little bit. He wears it as well. I find I get too sweaty and gross, but that might just be me in general. Yeah, touch on this a little bit because you've now tried it. I thought the immersion was incredible, but I'm on the first gen. How was your experience?
I thought it was really cool. Well, it came about because my screen is fairly small, so I wanted a bigger screen. And then I looked at a bigger screen, and I thought, well, for the price of getting a bigger screen, I could get a VR headset. And it is super immersive. It is so cool. It is so much fun. And I think it doesn't necessarily give you the final lap time. If I was a pure, serious pro sim racer, the whole triple screen setup, huge refresh rates, very locked, stable driving position is probably the quickest way to go. But I'm here for the immersion. I'm here because I want to be a racing driver, and I think that's the difference.
What were you racing?
I was doing single-seaters around Silverstone. Didn't have a good one, but I'm doing touring cars at Silverstone next Tuesday.
I think the interesting thing is, as well, is the VR is not much more expensive, or probably less than some of the triples. So we'll get into the racing in just a second. Well, we're at a speedy track, and therefore we're going to do things very quickly. Sorry, Jack, as the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones is already on track for qualifying, so I'll let you go now. I apologize.
No, I apologize. It is qualifying for the Sim Masters element of the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. 2 races coming up for these drivers today, as with all of the classes on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the full oval circuit. Michael Romanidis at the moment is at the top of the qualifying order. Simoncic in second, Wisniewski in third. Kamil Pawlowski has just gone to the top. But Jonah, I think these times are going to drop because it is pretty much flat out in qualifying in these cars at Indianapolis. So it's all about getting the right line.
Much like the qualifying in the Pro Cup, really, that we are going to see the times drop and drop. Lucas Blakely was a winner last time out, so he's a man that can still win the Triple Crown, as was Jan van der Heide, the man in the top right. So the two of them out there right now, and they're in 8th and 9th. But I think we've just seen from that first race, again, qualifying, it's nice to be near the front. It gives you a better chance to stay out of trouble. But Bruno Senna coming from the edge of the top 10 on the podium, and Tristan Vautier as well won the race from outside the top 3 rows. So qualifying, not everything, but it is certainly helpful to be away from the mess. Blakely only 12th though right now.
Yeah, indeed. We have got a minute left on the clock. There is Blakely coming around turn 2 and out onto the back straight again. Jan van der Heide, who is joint championship leader now with Liam de Waal, because there were some penalties in the last race that promoted Jan van der Heide up into 11th place in race 1, which gave him the same amount of points as Liam de Waal overall. So first and second for Van der Heijden and de Waal, 4 points ahead of Lucas Blakely, third in the championship, who's 4 points ahead of Gergo Baldi and Adam Maguire. But at the moment, it is super close for that pole position fight, isn't it? With 25 seconds left on the clock, and it is Liam de Waal who is the highest of the championship contenders at the moment.
Let's see what Jan van der Heijden does then. 12th right now, Blakely 15th. What is Jan van der Heijden going to be able to improve? He's not. Kevin Ryan stays second, and Romanides right now 5 seconds to go. Looks like he's got this one.
And there is Romanides then onto the grass on the infield, and he has taken race 1 pole position for the Sim Masters. Very good drive from Romanides, who has been developing recently in this esports game. He was racing for the F1 esports Williams team last year, and now here in the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. And we'll see what Romanides can do from the front of the order in the Sim Masters. He's the Greek is 12th after Monaco, only finished 17th in race 1, 8th in the reverse grid in race 2. So this would be quite a big result for him if he can finish high up the order, as we see the huge tower at the center of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is a look at the grid. Romanides on the front, Kevin Ryan alongside him. Kamil Pawlowski is third. Liam de Waal for the GPVWC All-Star team is in fourth. Then it's Jernej Simoncic ahead of Alen Terzic, Nikodem Wisniewski and Adam Maguire completing the top 8. Then it's Peyo Peev in 9th. Muhammed Patel, who finished second at Monaco, is in 10th spot ahead of Kevin Siggy. And then Maciej Milniak is in 12th position. There is joint championship leader Jan van der Heijden down in 13th position, just ahead of Jannick Bock. Yuri Kasdorp is ahead of Kuba Brzezinski. Lucas Blakely down in 17th spot, the man who's third in the championship. Lars Brugman in 18th. Erhan Jajovski 19th. Dennis Jordan in 20th. Dawid Mroczek ahead of Alex Siebel. Then it's Nuno Pinto. Mike Epps down in 24th position. That's a bit of a surprise to see, because Epps had a fairly strong run to a 10th place finish in Monaco. David Greco is 25th ahead of Jordi Spheres. And then we've got Gergo Baldi, Michi Hoyer and Risto Kappet completing the 31 drivers that are about to do battle around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Sim Masters element of the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. We've got these 3 races, and there are $25,000 on the line if you can win all 3 of events in the Triple Crown. And at the moment, Lucas Blakely and Jan van der Heijden are not looking strong for it. They were the 2 race winners in Monaco, but both are quite a way down the order. We get the green flag as we get underway in the Sim Masters. Romanides gets a good getaway. Pawlowski is in second place. It's third for Kevin Ryan. Simoncic now up into third. Liam de Waal has dropped a few spots as they come into turn number 2 and out onto the back straight for the first time. Romanides holding the lead. How defensive is he going to be? Kevin Ryan's got a great run coming up towards turn 3, but he's fairly blocked in. And Jernej Simoncic is on the inside now as they come into 3. Romanides still out in front. This is Nikodem Wisniewski, who is trying to find a way through from 6th position at the moment. That's Ryan to his right in the red car. And now he finds himself out of the tow, has to tuck back in, does Nikodem Wisniewski. And he's got Adam Maguire right behind him, 1 lap down, Romanides in front.
Huge draft there. Wisniewski looking to pass Ryan up the inside. And the top 2 now, Pawlowski at the front from Romanides. But the drivers are still so bunched up, they're having to blend out of the throttle an awful lot. Just because there's so many of them, there's no clear space to attack ahead. So they're just having to ease off in some of the drafts. And still so close. Simoncic now to the top. Super clean though so far. Look at that, still cutting through to the inside. Romanides just with Wisniewski next to him. Super tight, but super respectful. They know the widths of their cars, and now Romanides has a dive to the outside.
So, Pawlowski in front, Terzic second, Simoncic third, Romanides fourth. Wisniewski's in 5th, Blakely, de Waal, Patel, Kasdorp and Ryan the top 10. Ryan now drops down to 11th position. We're on board with Bulgarian Peyo Peev as they come out onto the back straightaway. He is up behind Milniak, and now we're riding with Erhan Jajovski in 14th spot as we look to the right to see Kevin Siggy going wheel to wheel into turn number 3. Pawlowski still leading the way with Terzic in second, Blakely third. So Blakely's done a very good job to get himself up the order and still has a shot at trying to keep that Triple Crown going.
The qualifying order is completely out the window, really. Terzic to the front. Blakely, as you say, has done a great job to get up to 4th. One of the winners in Monaco last time out. And he's flying up in 4th and looking good. Romanidis, poleman, 5th, just behind him, but still trying to attack, and he's making it through there on the outside.
Here they come into 3 again. And then out over the front straightaway.
Oh, Blakely. I think that's Lucas Blakely out. Wisniewski caught up in that as well. Romanidis was hit, and now we're losing cars. There was just a little bit of contact. I think it was Simoncic and Blakely just touching, and that's kicked off this whole effect. And yeah, Lucas Blakely's gone.
Such a frustration for Lucas Blakely, who was running so well after not the greatest qualifying. We're watching Kevin Siggy in the top right, trying to pass Liam de Waal. Alen Terzic now has moved to the lead. Jajovski's in 5th position ahead of Kevin Siggy. Siggy is losing a couple of places because he's getting high and hung out to dry. Intense racing in the Sim Masters here. Muhammed Patel running in 9th place. Romanidis, the poleman, is down into 10th position. Terzic still out in front as we go 3 wide again. On the run down into 1, there's Romanidis. Mike Epps has got himself up into 4th position. Didn't he start 20-something?
It's all going haywire right now. Jajovski was running 15th in the early stages. He's now in the battle for 4th as well, running just behind Epps. The qualifying order has completely become irrelevant, and it's just about keeping your nose clean, and that is what the top 3 have done. Terzic, Simoncic, Pawlowski, now with a nice little buffer to Epps and Siggy and the rest of the field. The top 3 have had a little breakaway. Now they need to work together. As you can see in the top of your screen, Pawlowski looking to the inside of Simoncic. They're taking Terzic with them, and they are working together. They've got to now keep that 2-second buffer.
Adam Maguire just tapped the wall out of 4, and that knocks him from 6th position down to 10th position in almost an instant. We're on lap 7 of 18. On board with Pawlowski in the top right. He's getting a good run here on Terzic and Simoncic. Goes to the inside. Is he going to take them both? Coming down the back straight into 3. He's going to run out of speed a little. They're still wheel to wheel. Terzic holds the outside line, keeps the lead at the moment. Pawlowski, we're looking back from him to Simoncic in 3rd. He hasn't quite managed to take the lead as they come over the front straight again. Meanwhile, on the main screen, it is very messy here. 5 wide almost. There's a bit of contact. Big hit into the wall.
Patel gone. And I don't know who else went with him there. But again, so many cars in such a small space. Just needs one bit of contact and the rest of the dominoes go. And there we go, we lost Patel. Mike Epps is still there with Jajovski at the front of that pack. But yeah, I don't know who went with Patel, but he was the man that lost out. So still the top 3 away, but they are now losing ground. Jajovski and Epps starting to close them in. Just they pretty much halved the gap. It was 2 seconds, now 1 second.
There's Kevin Siggy in the bottom left, running in 7th place, just ahead of Romanidis. Pawlowski still out in front at the moment. They swing through the left-hander. Pawlowski still just a 10th ahead of Simoncic. He's defending, so maybe we'll see Simoncic appear to the outside on the right-hand side. Lap 9 of 18 now. Romanidis and Siggy battling it out over 7th spot.
Jajovski's there. Jajovski right now with the lead pack from the edge of the top 20 on the grid. And now he's gone ahead of Terzic. He's absolutely flying. Look behind in set with Kamil Pawlowski, our race leader. That's Jajovski, Erhan Jajovski on the outside, trying to pass Simoncic now for 2nd. And he's just about got a nose ahead.
Here they come, down the back straightaway. Pawlowski still in front. Jajovski, Simoncic, Terzic, the top 4. They've got a 2-second margin now to Liam de Waal behind. Through 3, then into 4. And they are absolutely right together. And this is going to be a close one. Simoncic is going to go to the inside here. He'll move up into second place, Willie. Oh, he drifts a bit wide. They almost touch, but they're still somehow all in there. There was contact there for third and fourth, Simoncic and Terzic, and that allows Liam de Waal to pick up speed, to move to the inside and go past both of them potentially and up into third spot. And coming with them is Mike Epps in the Zansho car. So up into third goes de Waal. Epps is now fourth.
A little bit of contact. Simoncic just running wide, but Terzic had a nose in on the outside. Small contact, and they lost so much momentum that de Waal and Epps come straight screaming through. Just a tiny, tiny misjudgment there. And big consequences. Simoncic now drafting back through. But look, the top two just with a small breakaway right now. But still enough distance to go. And they may well, all four of this bunch that we can see now, get themselves back on terms with the leaders.
Lap 12 of 18. Liam de Waal trying to defend now from Terzic. As they come into three. We'll see whether these guys do work together and close that 1 second gap to Pawlowski and Jajovski, two world's fastest gamer finalists out in front. Epps ahead and defending a little from Simoncic down the front straight into 1 and 2. Lap 13 of 18 now. The Legends Trophy will be up next as we see the Legends take on this Indianapolis Oval Circuit once more. But really entertaining racing, this in the Sim Masters as they come down towards 3 again. Lap 13 of 18 as it stands. Epps is running in third. Pawlowski and Jajovski are not getting away, really. Epps is now closing the gap as he allows Simoncic to go through and de Waal to go through. Someone had a big moment there. I think that might have been Epps because suddenly he's down into 6th position.
So the gap's opening up there, but only briefly. The draft just brings them straight back into play. Epps still with Terzic, de Waal and Simoncic, not quite able to get on terms with Pawlowski and Jajovski, but the laps are ticking down. Look in set, Jajovski just bumping gently the back of Pawlowski. This is the top two. Bump drafting not allowed, so any significant amount of drafting will be looked at, but right now they're still just about keeping clear of Simoncic, but look at that gap on the left-hand side. Simoncic is getting closer.
Lap 15 of 18. 4 to run. Kamil Pawlowski is leading the way. Jajovski is second. Simoncic is in third. But we have got Simoncic joining them. Terzic, de Waal and Epps are going to struggle, I think, to really get involved in the fight. They're all in their own squabble over the final, over 4th position. As they come now out onto 3 and 4 again, there you can see the intense concentration for Erhan Jajovski in the bottom left. And oh, there's someone getting a bit sideways. Was that Pawlowski? Pawlowski's in the wall. Big lose for Pawlowski. And he has managed to keep going, or is he fully out of it? He's down in 8th place. So he's managed to keep circulating, but it's now Jajovski and Simoncic for the lead.
And Terzic still not out of this, just a second away. The lap's ticking down, but Simoncic then right onto the back of Jajovski. 2-horse race for now, unless Terzic can bring himself back into this. And Simoncic just looks absolutely calm and composed. Still super smooth on the steering. Don't want to be putting any more scrub than you absolutely need into the wheel. And this is it. A couple of laps to go. And look, Terzic is suddenly right with them. 3-car race again.
Penultimate lap of the race then, as they come across the line this time. Jajovski ahead of Simoncic. But Alen Terzic is joining the fight too. We're on board with Terzic. Onto the back straight. Bit of a slide. Oh, Jajovski's got out of shape and he's lost it and he's wrecked. And did he take Simoncic with him? Or is Simoncic still there? Simoncic is still there, but Terzic is in the lead.
And Jajovski was having the most almighty crash in the background. He was flipping up all sorts. Someone finds it hilarious. But wow, what an accident from the lead of the race. Here we go. Jajovski was finding it hilarious in the bottom corner. But Terzic and Simoncic. Mike Epps is now with them. Last lap. Where do you want to be coming out of the final corner? Do you want to be leading or do you want to be going for the lead to the line?
White flag is out. The top four are right together. On the back straightaway they come. We're on board with Jernej Simoncic running in second place. 3/10 back from Terzic, but then there's Epps, then there's Liam de Waal, and there to the inside goes Simoncic. He goes into the lead. Terzic goes out nice and wide. What a bold move and a clean move that was from Jernej Simoncic, who comes through turn 4. Mike Epps has got up into second place, but it is Jernej Simoncic across the line to win an epic race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Mike Epps gets second, de Waal gets third at the line. Incredible stuff.
Wow, what a race. Unbelievable. Oh, that's his Pawlowski losing it and smacking into the outside wall out of turn 4. Simoncic, great move, made it cleanly, and fortunately for him, Epps then had a bit of a fight with de Waal and Terzic and couldn't hunt him down to the line. So worked out perfectly for Jernej Simoncic. Great race from him.
Wow, what fantastic action that was in the Race All-Star Series, powered by Rocket Phones, and we have had Jernej Simoncic taking the win after a really intense fight. Epps and de Waal finishing in second and third, Alen Terzic in fourth. So many fell by the wayside in that one, and I think we can speak to Jernej Simoncic now. Well, let's just have a replay of the onboard with Erhan Jajovski. Now he's coming through, just coming through too, and the back end got loose.
Simoncic was so close to getting whacked, and that's the one. Upside down, now we're in a pickle.
Jernej Simoncic takes the win. Mike Epps in second. Liam de Waal in third position. Terzic fourth. Pawlowski fifth. Peev, Greco, Patel, Pinto, and Milniak, the rest of the top 10. Wow. Absolutely intense stuff. And if those of you, maybe there are some of you who are not used to watching oval racing, you know, we've got quite a sort of European gang here. Certainly oval racing fairly new to me, but really enjoying the nature of it. It's just a different kind of thing. It reminds me sort of Caterham racing, where everybody's overtaking for the lead, but it doesn't matter until you get to the end of the race. It's all about getting yourself in the right position. When we return, we are going to see some real legends, Button and Alonso, head-to-head at the Indianapolis circuit. Well, let's jump in and speak to Jernej Simoncic, shall we? The winner of the Sim Masters race, the first race anyway, at the Indianapolis Oval Circuit. Wow, what a race that was. Jernej, I don't really know what to say. Talk us through it from your point of view. Pretty intense, this oval racing. Have you done much before?
Actually, I think this is my first proper experience of oval racing,
Wow.
at this level at least. So I had no idea what to expect. It's I guess a completely new experience for most of us racing here. So yeah, I didn't even know how to take qualifying. I thought everyone will be inside 0.003 of a second, but in the end, I guess it worked out somehow. And for the race, I had like 4 moments when I was 50-50, either I'm surviving or I'm out. And fortunately, all 4 times I survived somehow. And I think with Erhan, 2 laps to go or something. Yeah, I had to go to the wall. I actually bounced off the wall a little bit, because if I was like 1 millimeter to the left, I would crash into him. So, yeah, a couple of interesting moments, but in the end, I'm really delighted to be P1.
Great. Congratulations, Jernej. A really good race, and see what you can do from race 2.
Thank you.
I think if we learned anything, Matt, in that race, reverse grid, reverse Schmid, like, it's not going to make any difference, is it?
Well, you're right, but that's a good thing for someone like Lucas Blakely, who's in contention for the Triple Crown. He was actually running 4th place, got taken out in a melee. I think it may have been his own doing at the start. And actually, Jajovski took him out the second time when he worked his way back from like 17th to 9th. So the pace is there for him. Maybe there's a chance with all the drafting if he can keep it clean, but it just goes to show you how much of a lottery Indy can be. You can get caught up in someone else's mistakes so easily, Jolyon, and chance is gone just like that.
this is the thing. We were saying at the start of last time, the start of this whole series, what is going to be the hardest one to win? And potentially looking at even Fernando Alonso, who is maybe the favourite to do the Triple Crown. The Indy race is just so random. We've seen it now 2 times. The winner coming from nowhere. Jannick Simoncic saying 4 times he basically got a 50-50 the right way. He was so close to getting taken out a couple of times. You've just got to be at the right place at the right time. Do as much as you can, but you need a bit of luck to win it. And I think we're going to see that going forward the rest of the day. So for those that are trying to win the Triple Crown, it's not easy.
Well, it might just be stay in the draft and stay in the competition. You can get in one as well, and here's how with Rocket. If you'd like the chance to win a Rocket phone featuring 3D screen technology, just go to rocketphones.com and tell us, what is the name of the former Formula One Vice World Champion who currently drives for the Rocket Venturi Formula E team? Not only that, there will be some great offers available exclusively to race fans on rocketphones.com right now, with huge discounts of up to 60% on selected handsets. Still want more? Well, we've got you covered. You can also receive a free pair of Rocket earbud headphones when you buy any phone. All you need to do is enter the promo code RACEOFFER. This contest is open to all race fans, no matter where you live in the world. So why wait? Head to rocketphones.com right now to check out the deals. And why stop your involvement there when you can follow us on all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, @WeAreTheRace. Hit the like button and subscribe button down below. I'm going to try and keep an eye on chat today. So if you guys have any questions, maybe I can get those in during some of our breaks. We're going to get back underway with the legends in just a second. Well, we welcome you back again to the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. It's time for the legends, and there are many on this track, but there's one in our mind. Alexander Zanardi yesterday was obviously involved in a very tragic accident. We're all hoping for the best during his recovery. A lot of these guys would have spent a ton of time with him, both in the racing world and off track, where in my opinion, he's been one of the most inspirational ambassadors to all of sport. So Alex, from everyone at the race and everyone involved this weekend, as well as everyone around the world, we're thinking of you, and we hope you the best for recovery. And Jack, we're getting ready to get into this, but obviously that's a pretty crucial point to make.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was lucky enough in 2016, I think, to spend sort of a year following Zanardi round while he was racing in the Blancpain GT series, and we made a little documentary about him, and just what a guy. Like, everyone knows what a guy, but like when you meet him in real life, you say, oh, wow, what a guy. So, yeah, fingers crossed for Alex. But the other legends are out on circuit now on the track for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we'll see what they've got. And it is Montoya on provisional pole at the moment. This time, Juan Pablo.
Like father, like son so far. 3 minutes to go still. And as we've seen, the times do tend to tumble. But look how close that is. Petter Solberg was on pole last time, and he's just gone back to the top. Last time we did this with the legends, Petter Solberg was on pole, and he didn't manage to show his true pace from then on, but he's looking quick again.
Yeah, that's impressive stuff, isn't it, from Solberg in second place. Emanuele Pirro is third, Brabham is fourth, Button is fifth. Alonso goes up into third position. The top 10 separated by less than a tenth of a second. Jason Plato had a lot of fun last time out, and he's in 13th spot at the moment. Last time out at Indy, that is. He very much enjoyed the action, so we'll see what he can do this time out, as Alonso we see there in the bottom left, running in third spot for the time being, as he comes around, and he's gone pretty well in the on the lap so far. Coming through the final corner, is this going to put Alonso to the top of the times? Cuts the beam. Can he get ahead of Juan Pablo Montoya? Yes, he can, by 0.02 of a second, but still 2 minutes to run.
So still a couple more laps to go for Alonso and everyone. Here comes Petter Solberg. Good lap so far from him. Third place. He and Montoya have been very quick all laps so far. They're getting quicker and quicker. Solberg's latest attempt to go back to the top if he can get across the line quickly, and he does quickly enough. Solberg to the top.
So, well, Servia has jumped up into third place now. Button's gone up into sixth. Juan Pablo Montoya now goes to the top. Alonso comes across the line and doesn't improve. So still Juan Pablo Montoya in that first position now, as Solberg is in second position. So he went to the top, but then he disappeared from our timing screens. Remember, he's back there now in second place and not doing any more laps, I don't think, as we see Alonso still running in third, still trying to get a little bit more pace out the car.
Brabham to third. Good job there from David Brabham, up into third. That's as high as he's been so far. Oriol Servia matches Montoya's time to the 1,000th. What can Fernando Alonso do this latest lap? Montoya improves again, and Alonso improves, but not by enough. Still second, and he may just squeeze one more lap in.
This is going to be tight for Montoya and Alonso to try and get one more lap under their belts on the board. We're seeing Alonso in the top right. We're on board with Juan Pablo Montoya coming through turn 3. Out towards the line. Alonso is pretty much at the same point on track. Which of them is going to seal pole position for the Legends Trophy? Montoya across the line doesn't improve. So can Alonso take the pole away from Montoya? Cuts the timing beam now. And he can't. It is Montoya who takes pole position. Good drive.
They were our two main men from Monaco as well. The two winners of 2 of the Triple Crown, Montoya and Alonso, and they're both going at it at the front again. But really close. A lot of good performances there. Oriol Servia, obviously Champ Car and IndyCar legend, up in third place.
They're the 2 championship leaders as well. Juan Pablo Montoya 2 points clear of Fernando Alonso. So Alonso at the top of the standings and Montoya in second by just 2 points. Servia in third, Button fourth. Plato in 11th place. Travis Pastrana up in 13th position. So good run there for Pastrana, you have to say, in what is his first esports outing in this race esports series. He's done a bit of rallycross in the past, but now we're going to see him out on the oval. And very excited to see what's going to unfold here, you know, as we get ready to go. Montoya on pole then. Him versus Fernando Alonso around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The 2 closest, as Jolyon says, to winning the Triple Crown in real life are going to be duking it out here. Of course, Montoya has won the Indy 500. Juan Pablo Alonso has not. Here's a look at the grid. Montoya on pole, Alonso second. Oriol Servia in third place. Great to see the Spaniard up there ahead of Jenson Button. Petter Solberg is in fifth. David Brabham's in sixth. Pirro in seventh. Prio in eighth. Further back in the field, we've got Michel Jourdain in ninth position ahead of Darren Turner. Jason Plato slots in 11th position ahead of Mario Dominguez. Then Travis Pastrana in 13th place. Tom Coronel in 14th. Tonio Liuzzi 15th. Steve Soper in 16th position. And Karun Chandok on the back row for his Legends Trophy debut, along with Max Papis. So we're on the rolling up lap now for the Legends Trophy event. But if the first 2 races are anything to go by, Jolyon, we could see charges through the order from further back.
Absolutely. I think Jenson Button's one to look out for. He just got to 4th right at the death in that qualifying session. And we know how quick he can be on ovals, as we saw in that Indy race last time. So him and Servia can go with the top 2. But as we saw before, it can be chaos. Let's see how this start unfolds.
Coming through 3 and then through 4. And they'll start to get into position. Trying to get the jump into the left-hander of 4 now. It's Montoya on the bottom line. Montoya ahead of Alonso, who's on the high line. And there goes Montoya. Very quick start. Button slow off the line. That allows Brabham through to get up on the outside and maybe even up into third position because he might have got the jump on Servia as well. A penalty for David Brabham, though. So presumably that's for a jump start. Button in 4th, Servia 5th, Pirro 6th. Solberg drops down to 7th. As we get the racing underway. Emanuele Pirro up into 5th spot. We're on board with Petter Solberg, but it's Montoya ahead of Alonso as they go onto the back straightaway for the first time.
What a shame for David Brabham, because it looked like he had a good start, but it must have just been fractionally early and therefore started ahead of the cars ahead slightly. I think Jenson Button was the one caught napping slightly more, but now he's back up into fourth. And with Brabham's penalty, that'll be third very shortly.
On board with Solberg as he goes to the inside of Pirro, then tries to go to the inside of Servia. 20 laps remaining in this Legends Trophy race as they come out onto the back straight. Montoya ahead of Alonso still by 0.2 of a second. Brabham still there in third, but he has that penalty, and we're on board with Button as he tries to tuck into the slipstream there. Montoya goes defensive up into 3. And to the outside goes Alonso, and to the lead goes Alonso, yes. So Alonso out in front, Montoya second, Brabham still third, but with that penalty. And then fourth for Jenson Button. Those four making a bit of a breakaway as we go on board with Solberg, who's trying to pass Serbia.
Smart move from Alonso around the outside, but Montoya straight back through on the inside. Now look just behind, Jenson Button side by side with David Brabham. And Button now is going to get a bit of a draft potentially from the cars ahead. But on the outside line, a little bit more distance, and Brabham stays ahead. And now it's Oriol Servia attacking Button with Solberg coming as well, with Emanuele Pirro coming as well. 7 cars, 9 cars, all very close. And Solberg touched Button, and then a little bit of contact with the wall and Pirro, and somehow they keep going.
That was very, very close, wasn't it? He just about managed to get away with that. Montoya still out in front. Alonso in second. Brabham in third. Button to the inside, though. So is he going to move up into third position? Brabham on the high line. Oh, comes down and just gets in front of Button. And then Servia in fifth position. You can see Alonso in the bottom left. There's no 2-car breakaway this week in the Legends Trophy around Indianapolis. As again, Alonso to the outside on the backstretch. Button trying to come through, and there's Brabham to the inside. David Brabham into first place. Alonso has to take evasive action. He gets out high, comes back down and falls in behind Solberg, and he might get done as well by Darren Turner. That means David Brabham is out in front, ahead of Montoya. Button third, Solberg fourth, Alonso down to fifth.
Great stuff from Brabham, but here comes Montoya back again on the inside. Favoured move into turn 1. And that's easy for him. Brabham didn't defend that. He knows that this is a long race and he's got to stay out of trouble, which has almost just affected Fernando Alonso, down to fifth from the lead battle. But look, he's still right there in the blue car with the Spanish colours in the middle of it. 5 cars separated by nothing. Oh, Button got wide.
Oh,
Pirro's
Solberg
gone.
was getting committed, and Alonso hits Button, and Pirro's gone as well. And Pirro sends it up the inside of Turner to get him into fifth position. So Alonso in fourth place now. Montoya still in front, Brabham second, Solberg third, and Button got turned around in all of that. It got so sketchy. Solberg really was not the aggressor, but he seemed to go into a bit of a closing gap. And is that Turner getting taken into the wall? And I think he might have taken Jason Plato with him as we go on board now with Petter Solberg, who's running in third position. Montoya, Brabham, Solberg, Alonso, the top 4, but it's only 3 for the lead on lap 6 of 21.
It was Plato and Liuzzi that were the latest collision, but yeah, I think Jenson Button actually just touched the grass on the inside potentially and was getting out of shape on his own. Then maybe it was contact with Alonso. It was very, very close between the two. But Button then right down to the back of the field from having a promising race. Solberg, look at that between Brabham and Montoya. Nothing between them and nothing between them again. They're really, really risking it through these. I mean, you've got to be so brave to do this in real life. They can risk it a little bit more in the simulator, but through turn 1 there. Super close, and this is Jenson Button getting out of shape. That was Pirro smacking the wall on the outside, and Alonso just nudged it. More drivers avoiding. Was it Oriol Servia went to the inside to get out of the way, or was it Darren Turner? Not sure which one, but when one car spins at the front of the field, it is the lottery, as Jernej Simoncic was alluding to earlier.
Lap 8 of 21. On board with Travis Pastrana in the top right. Montoya is back to the lead. Pastrana sets the fastest lap of the race in 9th position as he tries to climb up the order. He is now on the attack of Darren Turner, but here comes the action up at the front. Oh, Solberg to the inside, 2 wheels on the grass on the back straight. There's Pastrana in the bottom left. Brabham to the outside. And Montoya finds himself down in third place. He's up at the wall. Oh, Solberg hasn't seen him. And he spears across, wipes out Alonso, wipes out Peyo. Alonso's upside down. Brabham leads, Montoya second. Pastrana takes evasive action. Oh, and another big shunt. Darren Turner and Oriol Servio wiping out Petter Solberg. Alonso makes his way through it all and still recovers into sixth place. Now Travis Pastrana's up into seventh. Even Karun Chandhok is up into eighth in all of this.
Wow. Somehow it's, it all kicked off there between Alonso, Montoya. Well, who was it? Montoya and who was the other? Who was the other one at the front? Solberg. Petter Solberg, and Montoya just came to a slight touch. Then, I tell you what, Alonso and Peyo having great drives, fourth and fifth, and they're two people that can go for the Triple Crown. I was just thinking how they were coming right back into play. But then that Solberg-Montoya collision really hurt them. Pastrana's hurting now as well in the wall. That's a shame for him. He's having a great race. But yeah, suddenly Peyo third, Alonso sixth. Montoya's lost a lot of time to Brabham, who's got a penalty. Where's this one going to go?
Yeah, we still don't know exactly what the penalty is for David Brabham. It looked like it was for a jump start. We are riding with Darren Turner in the bottom left. He's trying to defend from Jourdain over that fourth position. Brabham is 2.5 seconds clear of Montoya. Not quite at half race distance yet either. So we'll see whether Alonso can come back through the order. He's fighting with Karun Chandhok as we go on board with Jourdain, who's trying to get past Darren Turner as they come into turn one again, and Jourdain can't quite make the move there.
They were so close and so clean for an awfully long time, and we got a pitter. Is that Darren Turner coming into the pits, or did he just get really out of shape and made it look like he was? I don't know. He must have had a big slide and took to the infield. But is this going to be the replay then? Sandwich between Montoya, it was okay there. And then, bam, Solberg came to the outside whilst Montoya had the overlap. Yeah. That was the contact. And then Alonso goes flipping in the background. Peyo was caught up. Montoya looked like he had some significant damage as well. And it was all Solberg and Montoya just having a slight tap on the outside. And the dominoes fell once again.
There's Karun Chandhok. Is that a picture of Alonso behind him?
Surely
I don't know.
not.
Maybe not, but I don't know. That just looks like the bottom of Alonso's face. Anyway, Chandhok then in fifth position, but Alonso is up into fifth. Whose bottom of the face do you think that is? Maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to ask Karun later. Yeah.
I'm not so great on my chins.
I'll text Karun now. We'll see if he gets it while he's racing. But on board with Chandhok now as he goes to the inside of Fernando Alonso, coming down into one in that brilliant 1992 Williams livery for the Williams heritage driver Karun Chandhok. He's ahead of Alonso, who is ahead of Darren Turner at the moment. Papis, Coronel and Solberg completing the top 10 as it stands.
Chandhok's having a good drive. You better not text him. You don't want to put him off here. He's going to get passed by Alonso, but he'll dart straight back into the slipstream if he can stop Turner coming through as well. And get back with Alonso. Fifth place, up for grabs here. And Turner just edging slightly wide, but that's all good. They can try and work together to work towards that front pack. Chandhok back past Alonso. Who'd have thought it?
I think you're right about working together here. Sensible drivers, clever drivers here, battling over 5th, 6th and 7th position. There goes Alonso to the inside of Turner on the run down to 3.
Do you think any of these legends are not clever drivers?
You're going to get me in trouble there, so I'm not going to answer. Here's a replay on board with Darren Turner coming out through. Oh, so that was Darren Turner going into the pits.
Yeah, that was it then. Big old swapper on the exit of the corner, and he held it pretty well, kept his foot in as well. Lost one place, but he's still going here.
There is Fernando Alonso in the bottom left, fighting with Karun Chandhok. Out onto the back straight again. Darren Turner right behind. Chandhok down to the inside. Turner slots in behind. And Alonso slots into that 7th position, lap 15 of 21.
The race is getting away from everyone that's not out front right now. The lap's ticking down, lap 16 of 21. and there's significant enough gaps that, well, we don't know what the penalty is for David Brabham still yet, but Montoya or Brabham, or maybe Andy Priaulx with a Triple Crown chance, looking quite good, because this gap is Alonso working well with Chandok. Turner got a little bit out of shape that last time, but he might still get back to them. They're working nicely together, but they're not closing in quickly enough with the laps ticking down.
Aurel Servia fighting with Jenson Button over 12th position. A little bit of a bump draft there from the Spaniard as they come down into 3. And Alonso still there, running in that 5th spot. This is, bit of a moment. Oh, bit of contact there. Alonso's through into 5th position. He and Chandok look to have had a bit of a touch. And Darren Turner slots in ahead of Chandok in 5th, 6th and 7th places as they now come through turns 1 and 2.
In one moment, all of their teamwork just goes out of the window then. And you lose seconds with a touch there. You lose the momentum, and Turner's passed them both up into 5th place. Chandok now comes back past Alonso. And they've lost the momentum to the back of Jourdain, who's having a good drive in 4th. They're all very, very evenly spread.
Yeah.
The top 4. And Brabham, he's having a brilliant drive. Just a shame about that penalty. I don't know what it is yet. The stewards haven't had a word in my ear, but that's a shame, because it was a really subtle offence that he did. With a rolling start, it's easy to go a little bit too soon. A bit like a safety car restart, really. Yeah. But on an oval, obviously momentum's so key. He got great momentum, but a little bit trigger happy on the throttle.
Lap 18 of 21. Brabham leading. Montoya 2nd. Priaulx 3rd. Jourdain 4th. Chandok in 5th. Alonso 6th. That's the battle we're watching here as Chandok covers the inside line. Forces Alonso to the outside. Darren Turner's a bit further back. Meanwhile, Aurel Servia is trying to pass Jenson Button and Max Papis in one fell swoop up in the top right. As we look back from Papis, who qualified last but is now up into 10th position. Aurel Servia on that lap setting the fastest lap of the race. And is he going to get up into that 10th spot? And Turner's on the grass. Chandok put him there. And Alonso keeps out of trouble again from both of them. Meanwhile, there is Button pulling to the left of Papis and up into 10th place. But that was a big old moment.
Turner fully lawn mowing on the inside there. Chandok basically didn't know he was there and just came right across, put him onto the grass. And somehow they're all still going in this 3-car train. I don't know how Darren Turner got this foot in over the grass and the momentum to not smack it into the wall when he got back to the next corner, and keep in the draft of Chandok and Alonso ahead.
Chandok covering the inside again. Penultimate lap of the race for David Brabham, the race leader. Montoya 2nd, Priaulx 3rd. The top 4 seem pretty set. It's actually now the battle for 5th place, where they were, to a degree, working together. They are now very much fighting each other on the final lap. White flag is out. Aurel Servia is trying to get up into 9th position, then into 8th position as Solberg and Button continue to fight. And we have got the white flag. Montoya started on pole position. Brabham got a great start, which he may still be penalised for. Montoya and Priaulx running in 2nd and 3rd. And Jourdain in 4th. Alonso's in 5th. Turner and Chandok go side by side. Alonso's lost it all by himself. And the hopes of a virtual Triple Crown slip away. He's still got one more race to go. But David Brabham takes the win around Indianapolis. Does he have a penalty? We'll see when the results come through. Montoya finishes in 2nd place. Priaulx in 3rd. Jourdain in 4th. Turner 5th. Chandok 6th. Alonso in 7th spot. And I think there's no penalty for David Brabham, we're being told. And we have got Brabham, Montoya, Priaulx, Jourdain and Turner, the top 5 after that Legends race around the... well, let's see what happened here. Was this to Alonso just all by himself, Jolyon?
Yeah, he just touched the grass, I think, on the inside, unsettled him, and had a big slide all by himself and lost those 2 places. The Triple Crown he wasn't going to get with this race anyway. He needs to win it, and he was only battling for 5th. But a few points in that little series battle with Juan Pablo Montoya anyway slipped through.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what a win then for David Brabham. Looks as though there wasn't a penalty. The one that appeared at the start may have been taken out in game. And still a good result for Juan Pablo Montoya. That's going to put him to the top of the championship standings in the Legends Trophy. And Andy Priaulx finishing in third spot after an intense race on the oval. Alonso and Button, who dominated so much last time we were at Indianapolis, only finishing in 7th and 8th positions. A few people telling me that that's the bottom of Ayrton Senna's chin in Karun Chandok's house, including Dilbag Gill, the team principal of Mahindra. So thank you for that, Dilbag. So yeah, maybe that is going to be true. We'll wait and see whether Karun replies to me.
That should have been a recognisable chin, really.
Well, that's what I don't remember Senna with much stubble. I don't know.
No.
It feels quite beardy to me. I think that's why I thought it was going to be Alonso. Well, we are going to have more action for you. Still 3 more races to come. We're only halfway through the action here at the Race All-Star Series, powered by Rocket Phones. In a few minutes, we'll get started with the reverse grid races.
Remarkable results so far. None of our 6 Triple Crown contenders have followed up with a win so far at Indy. Alonso obviously taken out a few times. Priaulx was close. He was third. I want to point out as well, you want to talk about a Triple Crown and how much it takes. Montoya has been second 3 times in 3 races so far in this series. He could easily be in contention for it right now. Good for the championship standings though, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. So Montoya to the top. That gives Alonso a bit of a battle that we haven't seen him have really in the last few weeks. And Karun has just texted me it's Prost. So it's Alan Prost, I believe. So there we go.
Well, we've got Brabham to stand by. He had an excellent race. And also the mid-engine revolution that really propelled a lot of these cars around this track for years was started by his great father. So pretty cool to see him win on the track, Jack.
Yeah, let's have a chat with him now, shall we? David Brabham joining us. David, congratulations. What a drive. A win at Indianapolis.
Yeah, how about that, eh? Finally, I get to win one of these Legends races and on an oval at Indianapolis. So, yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with that. A fantastic racing on this oval stuff. I mean, it's just amazing. Everyone's enjoying it.
Yeah, it seems really intense maybe compared to the sort of racetrack stuff.
I don't know about that, but it's pretty intense on the racetrack stuff. Just even trying to keep the car on the track. Here's a lot. I mean, it's so close racing. The tactics, just little smidgens here and there. You can lose, a few hundredths, and then you're way back on the grid. So it's very competitive. Great drivers in there, and just pleased to finally get a decent result.
Great. Well, congratulations. Good luck for race 2.
Thanks.
So I think we can speak now to Juan Pablo Montoya as well, who with that second place finish, another second place finish, I think that's his third second place finish in the 3 races so far this season. Juan Pablo into the lead of the championship. How was the race for you? Very busy.
Yeah, well, actually, my kid that figured out how to qualify better. So I copied what he was doing. And worked out really well. We had really good speed. And unlucky there, I got outside of Peter and we run into the wall and David left. But it was good. It was a good race. It was nice to run up front and score some good points.
Yeah, so the Montoyas are really doing well today, aren't they, at Indianapolis?
Yeah, I mean, everything, honestly, thanks to Seb. Seb is the one that figured out I was doing qualifying, and he would get in and said, I went quicker. So I would get in and try to beat his time. And when I did, he would get in and keep getting quicker and quicker and quicker. And it was a huge help because, qualifying up front here makes a big difference. Now, with the reverse grid on the second race, it should be interesting. I'm pretty excited to see what happens.
Cool. So are we. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Juan Pablo is number 2 in the race, but he is number 1 in the championship because he's back into the leads. There was a famous, he's not famous at all because no one knows my track, but locally a bit of a folklore. There was a guy that always finished second, not famous at all, but always had a shirt that said second sucks because he was always second place, but he won a lot of championships because of that. Consistency is key, which is pretty cool to see that Montoya is that close time and time again.
Yeah, one of the famous racing Canadians by the sounds of it.
Blue Van Dalen, you never heard of him?
Timmy Dandinen?
Blue Van Dalen? No, he's not famous at all, trust me. He lives down the road, though. It's kind of cool. I guess that's, there's my world for you. There's no one that lives on my road other than him. I'll try.
Yeah.
Welcome back again to the All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. We get back into the Triple Crown and we go backwards because it's the reverse grid. Remember, no one so far has repeated a victory today. We're going to go back into the Pro Series. That means Oliver Rowland and Job Van Uyten are the two you've got to watch if the Triple Crown is going to be achieved. So they'll start a little bit further up than they did in the first race, Jack, but obviously reverse grid, Indy, you think it may not matter as much.
Well, I think with the amount of overtaking that we saw, especially in the Sim Masters race, I don't think it's going to be hugely relevant. I've just had when you said we were going backwards, obviously in circuit racing, you get clockwise courses and anti-clockwise courses. Why are there no ovals that go right? Or am I being a bit ignorant here?
If it was NASCAR, I would say the offset of the cars and the design of the car would be a big part of that. In Indy, I know there's different roll bar settings, but they're still relatively symmetrical. So that's a reasonably good question because you'd think that setup could be achieved that way. I don't know, Jolyon, maybe you've got some answers on that.
Oh, no. I have.
All right, fair enough.
Good question. Why don't they just run back to back with the track the wrong way around?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get in the YouTube chat and tell me why that isn't a thing. I'm sure there's a reason, and as I'm sure you've picked up, neither Jolyon and I are oval experts on this one. But if there is a real reason, then get in the chat. Right, we are getting underway on the rolling up lap for the reverse grid for the professional racing drivers. So we will see what is going to unfold and who can take the win. A reminder that Tristan Vautier took victory in the first race. He's going to be starting towards the back of the field. It's Michael Ben-Yahia that is on pole position with Gabby Chavez, former Indy Lights racer, on the front row alongside him with Yaya Fay. Bart Skavissa starts in 6th place. Stefan Wilson is in 7th with Tom Ingram in 8th position. And Oliver Turvey in his first race in the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones is in 9th position ahead of Di Francesco. 11th place for Tristan Vautier, Jolyon. I think he's my favourite to do a double here.
He's got a chance. We've seen anything can happen in these races. It's just about keeping clean, getting a lucky break here or there. And Vautier pretty much came to win from there in the first race. So you're right, he's in with a chance here.
So they are on their warming up lap now. And soon the pace car will pull in and the action will get underway. And who is going to get the best start? Ben-Yahia on pole, Chavez alongside him. When is he going to go? Oh, someone spun in the middle already. There's a huge accident before the race even starts. And that is going to wipe out a lot of the back of the order. Away goes Ben-Yahia into the lead. Yeah, is up into 2nd place. Headley 3rd, Chavez 4th. Did Vautier make it through all that? I think he did. He's in 13th position. And here we come then. Oh, that's going to be contact there, isn't it? Onto the back straight. No, they make it through. James Headley now is up into 1st place in the middle there. Chavez on the outside. Ben-Yahia drops back behind Yaya Fay. And then Wilson is the other driver in that top 5 at the moment.
So the question is, who got through Rexzilla there in the middle of the field? And I don't think Ollie Rowland did. One of our men that can fight for the Triple Crown seems to be out of there. And Job Van Uytert's down in 16th, still running. So he's still in with a chance. But what on earth happened there? Just on the run up to the green. And pretty much just carnage through the midfield. Somehow we've still got a lot of cars still running out of that.
It looked as though one guy floored it and lost it, and then that was that. Chavez out in front then. There you see him in the bottom left. He's going side by side with James Headley into 3. Ben-Yahia's to the inside. I mean, this is 6 wide. We're on board with Devlin Di Francesco in the top right as he moves up into 5th place, then gets a little bit of a bump onto the front straightaway again. And, well, they're just in 2. It's like the start of the race again, except cleaner. Oh, bit of a touch there. They get away with it for the moment. Someone's up high, someone's up in the wall, but I think they're going to get away with that one. Chavez, Ben-Yahia, Di Francesco, the top 3.
Yeah, I think they all did get away with that one in the wall, actually. I thought it might have been Maro Engel that dropped a couple of places, but still going fairly well. Di Francesco lost a bit of momentum there, and he's going to fall from fighting for the lead just behind Chavez Ben-Yahir. But so far, actually, after that start line shunt, all good.
That 3 of 18. Chavez out in front. Stefan Wilson's in 6th. Vautier and Turvey are in 10th and 11th places at the moment. Stefan Wilson in 6th spot, going down to the inside as he watches the battle in front. Devlin Di Francesco watching the fight for the lead as it gets incredibly busy again. Ollie Rowland sets the fastest lap of the race, but he's not even in the top 20, I don't think, Rowland. So he's got a lot of work to do. This is some bold stuff. Positions being gained here as we're on lap 4 of 18. Chavez still out in front. A bit of a gap to Ben-Yahir and Di Francesco, who are side by side. Someone in the wall further back, but they managed to keep going. And now again, we're going to go 8 wide down into 1. Chavez has the advantage. And, oh, there's a contact between 3 of them, and 1 goes round, and there's the wreck. It was inevitable from the front group of cars eventually.
Stefan Wilson there dropping down and out of that one. Big old incident for him. And who else do we lose? James Headley dropped. And someone else. Bruno Senna's dropped as well. Another incident there. And that's Maro Engel, who's been in the wars. And I think he's lost another place. Tristan Vautier's gone backwards as well and is out. And it's all kicking off even more now, side by side and in the wall again. That's Ollie Turvey now dropping down.
Di Francesco is into the lead. He's got ahead of Gabby Chavez. Ben-Yahir is in 3rd. Ingram is in 4th position. 5th is Yaya Fay. 6th is Smith. Engel, Calderon, Van Uitert and Canapino, the rest of the top 10. Vautier had got up into about 6th position in all of that carnage before he became the latest driver involved in the carnage. Gabby Chavez out in front. A reminder then that in the Pro Cup, if you're looking for someone to win the Triple Crown, it is Ollie Rowland and Job Van Uitert who are the 2. And at the moment, Van Uitert's in 10th place. So he's the most likely, but he's actually 15 seconds off the race lead. He's not in the front pack, so I don't think we're going to get a Triple Crown winner in the Pro Cup.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do. Rowland was caught up in that start line scuffle, and Van Uitert looks like he's coming to the pit. He's a long way off anyway, so too much to do, and it looks like the Triple Crown has slipped all of these guys by. But we've still got a race win, and we've got 3 cars now out front. Gabby Chavez into the wall, exit there of turn 3, and Chavez, he's managed to keep going, but he's lost momentum to Ben-Yahir leading, Di Francesco, Bradley Smith, and now Tom Ingram past Gabby Chavez as well.
Lap 8 of 18 now. Ben-Yahir still in front, just ahead of Di Francesco, with Smith in that fight as well. And, oh, no! Smith off heavily into the wall there on the exit of 2, and that wipes him out from the running, as we see Smith in the bottom left, and I think he's out of this one, isn't he? We're on board with Gabby Chavez running in 6th, up behind Maro Engel in 5th. Dillman is up into 11th. Rowland is up into 12th. Seb Montoya in 9th position. As they come across the line again, it's all kicking off in front of Gabby Chavez. 10 laps to go. So still a long way left in this race. Not quite a half race distance yet. We will be at the end of this lap.
I think it was Smith and Chavez that had contact, and Chavez somehow kept going, but he's lost a lot of ground. And Smith, as we saw in the inset a moment ago, looked like he was packing up and staying home, but certainly out of the race. Huge incident. But Chavez still going then. Maro Engel, who's been in the wars and has been threatening to spin and fall down a few times, is still going in 5th. Oh, that's it there. So I think that's Chavez then.
Yeah.
Somehow keeps going then. He hits the wall quite hard, but keeps going. And Yafei is through and doing pretty well as well.
On board here with Chavez, who's back on the back of Engel. Was that Ben-Yahir? Maybe just hitting the wall and in a lot of trouble. I think
it was.
Engel's promoted up into 4th place. Chavez fighting with him, coming down into 3 as they look to join the front fight again. And there is Maro Engel in the bottom left, who only got his simulator recently, and it's a sort of GT-esque simulator, hence he's using sort of a big GT wheel rather than the single-seater wheels that you see a lot of the drivers using.
He's doing a good job, side by side with Gabby Chavez, who's on the recovery track right now, somehow still going after that incident with Bradley Smith. And Chavez then looking to pass Engel on the inside, and then that's the leading three just ahead, so still right in it. And it was Benya here, out of that lead battle, just lost it, and he's now fallen by the wayside. Yiffy top right, insect, looking to pass Ingram and De Francesco for the lead.
The three. Getting ahead of Ingram. Chavez and Engel are now fighting in all sorts of chaos. I think we've got back markers in there as well, but the battle for the lead is hotting up. There goes Chavez through, back into the front. Despite that huge moment earlier on, Maro Engel has got up into second spot in all of that. De Francesco is in third. It's fourth for Ingram, fifth for Yeh. James Headley sets the fastest lap of the race, lap 12 of 18.
It's amazing how this race is just ebbing and flowing. Chavez had a little hit there from behind, somehow keeps it out of the wall, but a little tap there from De Francesco on Gabby Chavez, and that's knocked Chavez back down to fifth place, but 1.3 seconds off the lead. Engel now leads, but he's going to have this line of cars back on him in no time.
There is Maro Engel. De Francesco still running in that second spot. Ingram in third. We're on board with Yaya Fei in the top right. Lap 13 of 18. Engel defensive. De Francesco to the outside. Engel hits De Francesco. Chavez is right on the high line. He taps the wall. They haven't had tears yet, but Engel's on the grass. He keeps it together. There goes Chavez again. This time he's upside down and surely out of the running. Tom Ingram is going to move up into second place as we come across the line to start lap 14 of 18. 5 to go. And finally, after about 20 attempts at a massive shunt, Gabby Chavez is out of this one.
Yeah, he's not going to be coming back from that one. That was one massive crash too many on this Indy circuit, and it was all with Maro Engel getting wide, and the two of them had contact, and Chavez sent skittling into the barrier and out of this one. Engel, meanwhile, through into the lead past De Francesco, and then there were four. Engel, De Francesco, Ingram, and Yeh, and we've only got a few laps to go.
On board with De Francesco. Oh, banging wheels over the start line. That allows Ingram to the outside and Ingram into the lead.
The winner of this is going to be the one that doesn't crash. It just feels like that when there's four going for the win in the closing stages. They're touching wheels on the straight. You've just got to keep it out of the wall right now, and I just sense there's going to be another one coming.
Oh, Engel being really defensive there, almost forcing Ingram onto the grass. Here comes Yaya Fei, who gets the run on them, coming into three. Engel still leading. He is defending very, very vigorously. Is the German out onto the front straight again. In towards one. Ingram to the outside, De Francesco to the inside. De Francesco now hits the front.
Is this anyone's game? Still the four of them. Now they've started to clean up their act. Well, I say that in the last lap and a half, they haven't hit anyone. That's threatening too now. A little tap there from Tom Ingram. Engel in the mix. De Francesco still leading, and Yeh comes around the outside of the other two. But still they keep it clean until now. Until now, that's Tom Ingram crashing out of this one, and then there were three.
Penultimate lap of the race coming up. On board with Maro Engel in third. De Francesco leads. Yeh in second, Engel in third. Into turn one. Engel gets a great run here, and he's going to slingshot past them both. He taps him, and that's huge. De Francesco is into orbit, and he is dropping well down the order. And that means Tatiana Calderon is up into third place. There is De Francesco in the bottom left. But it's Yaya Fei who hits the front ahead of Maro Engel as we come out to get the white flag.
And De Francesco doesn't look happy. That was all Maro Engel, I'm afraid, just hitting him from behind. Nothing De Francesco could do about that, and he looks pretty frustrated with it. Engel may be seeing a penalty for that one. Here we go, though. Last fighting it out. Two left in this race. Who's going to take the win? Just 2 more corners to go after this one.
Yeah, to the outside on the back straight. There's a back marker in front that they're trying to get the draft from. That's why, yeah, cuts across so vigorously. And he might hold on to this, you know. 1 more corner to come at 4. Who was that? Just parked up at the side of the circuit. Round the left-hander. Checkered flag is waiting. Engel's got the draft. Engel pulls out. Ye's in front. Who is it at the line? It's Ye. Ye takes the win just ahead of Maro Engel in second place. An absolutely incredible drag race right towards it. And it's Agustin Canapino who takes third place. That's going to be strong for his championship. Tom Dillman finishes in 4th position. Tatiana Calderon in 5th. Ollie Rowland gets up into 6th place. Tristan Vautier ended up finishing in 9th position. Well, how intense was all of that? Oval racing is stressful. I'm finding it way more stressful than real racing. Wow. But Ye taking the win. I thought Engel might have that, you know, right on the line.
I thought he was going to. The draft's been huge, and he looked like he timed it perfectly, but just by a matter of thousandths and nose, a hair's breadth on the front. This is it. Engel going for the outside, and there's the line.
Oh.
Look at that.
Wow. Well, I think we can now speak to Maro Engel, who finishes in 2nd position after what was an incredibly entertaining race. Maro, congratulations, 2nd position. You almost got the win. That was pretty intense stuff.
It was so close. I thought I had him, but yeah, I don't know how much the time difference was, but I'm sure it wasn't much.
How much oval racing? I know the simulator you've got is quite new, so you're new to the sort of esports world. How much oval stuff has you done as well?
This is my first race. Well, my second race with the one we did previously. So I'm just discovering it, and to be honest, it's very exciting. So it's quite cool. I mean, we have the benefit that it doesn't hurt as much as in real life if you crash, but yeah, very exciting.
Okay, great. Well, we'll see you next week, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. I've got lots of practicing to do. But yeah, that was definitely exciting stuff.
Great. Cheers. Thanks for joining us, Maro.
Cheers.
Got to feel a little bit for DiFrancesco as well. I think he's been due for a result. He's been climbing up week after week, all 14 weeks, not just this championship. And obviously, I think Engel might get a penalty for that one. There will be no Triple Crown in the Pro Series. Ollie Rowland finishes in 7th and could not get any further, but the championship's still very much on the line. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show, but we'll take a break right now. Yay, and yay indeed, because a win around the oval, and remarkably so, been very consistent. And Yay is actually standing by Jack to have a chat with, and rightfully so. Good victory. Tough to stay in that one, I think.
Yeah, well, ever since joined the series, he's been running towards the front of the order. You think back to Lime Rock, he was very strong. Yeah, congratulations, your first win in the Race All-Star Series. That was a close one.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, that was very close with Maro Engel at the line. Was a thrilling race.
How intense did you find the oval racing, and have you done any oval racing before?
Not at all. I think most of the drivers haven't done it like me. So yeah, it was very first time for me, and yeah, great experience and lots of crashes during the race. So the key was to get rid of the trouble and yeah, run it to the line.
Great. Well, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
It's hard to believe that's his first win as well, because even as far back as season 2, I want to say before that, he's been a contender. He's been so close a number of times. Maybe, Jolyon, as we're going to get into our next feature, he's a contender, rocket driver of the day, something we added for this season. I said only one of us was wise, and therefore only one of us is fitting to give out this award. Jolyon, we've seen 2 races from the pros. Who's the one that leads the way for you today?
I'd say I thought Engel was great, but just taking out De Francesco took a little bit of the shine off him. That was a bit of a savage bin. Driver of the day for me in the pros, Tristan Vautier. That first race was great. The second race got caught up in something, but still got a top 10. Good, solid day.
Very good, solid day. Yeah, absolutely. Our first VR win as well, Jack, which we talked about a little bit. Obviously, maybe something to look forward to in the future. Obviously, tons of immersion. Maybe around the oval, it gave him that spatial awareness because I think he kept it very clean. I want to touch on the reverse grid a little bit as well because we've still got 2 more races coming up. To me, and maybe you guys have seen it differently, it seems like you either need no contact to get through or a lot of contact at the front because if you get separated from the draft, if you know you get held up at all at the start, it's very hard to catch the front runners.
Well, I think that's what we're seeing is that you have the front group of 15. And then at some point in there's going to be a wreck. At some point, you're getting the big one. And it's whether you're in the big one, which you don't want to be, in front of it, great, you've got a gap to the car behind. Or behind it, damn, you're now screwed for the rest of the race. So it's where that first big incident comes that splits up the field, I think, anyway, Jolyon.
Yeah, I mean, do you echo that? It seems like the early drafting trend, I mean, obviously we didn't see Button and Alonso run away like they did when we did this last season with the Legends, but it does still seem if there's a gap of sort of 2 or 3 seconds, I've been told it's something like 12 seconds back. You can actually feel a slight toe in real life. Some drivers debate how much it is, but in our factor, it seems like it's within 2 or 3 seconds, Joe.
I can believe it. In a Formula One car now, it's about 6 seconds back. You still feel a slight effect. So I can believe it's a lot more with Indy and the speeds they're going on a straight. But yeah, it's all about not being isolated. When you need this toe, you need to work together. And if there is a leader, they've got a nice 2-second buffer. It'll be whittled away in nothing if they're on their own and they can't tow with anyone else.
Well, we'll see if that's going to affect the reverse grid. As we say, Lucas Blakely and John Van Eyde start a little bit further back, so we'll have to keep an eye on them, but maybe they'll have a chance to get through it. Blakely looked speedy in the first one, had some incidents. We'll touch on that in just a second. The Rocket Triple Crown on the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. We had 6 drivers in contention when we started the day. The Pro Series will not have a Triple Crown winner. Neither Job Van Uytse or, as I look down at my paper because I forgot for a moment, Oliver Rowlands could not get the win done. But in the sim category, Lucas Blakely and John Van Eyde have a chance still. So we'll see if they can maybe get it done. Blakely was very close, Jack, in the first race. Was up to 4th. Bit of an incident on his own, got back to 7th from, I think, 17th, and then got taken out when Jajovski had his spin. But the potential seems like it's there.
I'm really enjoying how difficult it seems to be because in sort of regular season, as it were, winning 3 races over the course of 3 events didn't seem like too big a stretch. You know, Button probably did it. Alonso probably did it if you take both grids into consideration. But it's really difficult here to do, and I might even be a bit surprised at how difficult it is to do in this simulated world. Obviously, in real world, very difficult. I thought it might be a bit more straightforward for these guys, but I think it's the unpredictability of the oval that is really causing the chaos.
And maybe that's testament to the fact that only one man, Graham Hill, has ever won the Triple Crown. And on top of that, like you say, yeah, Alonso won 5 in a row, but today got caught up in the chaos. There is an element of luck to go along with the skill that you've really got to make sure you pick your battles. We'll see how the Sim Masters do because the reverse grid race is about to get underway.
So here we are looking at the grid. As we get ready to go, there is Kevin Siggy starting in 10th place. Peyo Peev will be in 12th position on the grid. Adam Maguire in 13th spot ahead of Nikodem Wisniewski. Terzic and Simoncic were perennial front runners in the first race. Liam de Waal finished in 3rd in race 1. It was Simoncic who won race 1 ahead of Michael Epps. Then you've got Epps again starting at the back of the order. So he went from 24th to 2nd in race 1. Can he do similar in race 2? David Greco also got up into the top 10 from down in 25th place. Jordi Spheres, 26th. Then we have got Gergo Baldi, Michi Hoyer and Risto Kappet completing the rest of the order. So an intense race about to get underway around the Indianapolis oval circuit. There are the cars on their rolling up lap, getting ready to go. The pace car will pull in once they've come through turn 3, and it is going to be Jourdain on pole position with Jajovski second. And Jajovski has got to be a front runner. Blakely starting in fourth. Brzezinski's in fifth. It's Blakely and Jan van der Heijden in eighth, who are the two that are in contention for the Triple Crown. Very interested to see what happens over the next 18 laps of racing. In pulls the pace car, and the race gets underway. Now, we got two more into the wall at the start of this one, and that's going to catch out all sorts of drivers at the back. They seem to be losing it under throttle when the race goes green. So it's Jourdain in front, Jajovski second, Brugman third. Then it's those top three have broken away. Kasdorp, Blakely, van der Heijden, Brzezinski and Siggy. The next pack, as soon as I say those top three have broken away, the rest are coming back at them. So Jourdain in front, Jajovski second. There's the look from Yuri Kasdorp down to the inside into turn 3. And we are on board with Lucas Blakely in fifth spot at the moment, with Jan van der Heijden there to his right-hand side as they come out onto the front straight again.
Blakely then with a nice draft passing Yuri Kasdorp around the outside. Now looks to pass Brugman on the inside. Now look at the leaders coming towards him. What a draft there for Lucas Blakely. He's one to watch out for the rest of this race. Triple Crown contender, as is van der Heijden, who's still in fifth. So Lucas Blakely and Jan van der Heijden, third and fifth, and they've kept themselves out of that trouble early on. But again, big start line shunt, and it must just be flooring it with too much steering lock on. Cold tyres and into the wall is a really bizarre thing to see.
Certainly is. Lap 2 of 18. Jajovski in the lead. Jourdain second. Blakely still there in third place. Van der Heijden in fourth position. Someone in pit road as they come across the line again. Van der Heijden sets the fastest lap of the race. Jourdain hits the front again, side by side through one. And Jourdain, I think, is on the outside. Blakely's got himself up into second position for the moment as they come out through two onto the back straight. Jourdain covering the inside, and really it's a top 12 here that are all together. Where and is there going to be a wreck in the middle of all of this pack? That's what could really separate these cars out, but at the moment it's incredible.
Surely sooner rather than later there is just nothing to separate the top 12. And they're all racing hammer and tongs still. Lucas Blakely going for the outside. Look, he's blended out of the throttle there because there's nowhere to go past Erhan Jajovski on the outside. But look at that, they're through in a flash.
Jajovski, Jourdain, Blakely, van der Heijden, Kasdorp, Brugman, Siggy. Blakely's on the inside. That's Yuri Kasdorp getting a good run in the black and green car. Into turn 3. Kasdorp keeps it low. And I think Jourdain went a bit wide there, and he's lost out, maybe even to Kevin Siggy as well. Jajovski 0.2 of a second clear at the front. Blakely in second. Oh, someone's heading towards the wall there. And I think that was Bock getting involved in all of that.
Siggy, and, it was Siggy. Siggy had a wobble on the inside and lost it on his own, and Bock hit him, and the two of them are gone.
Blakely has hit the front. Only by 300ths, though, ahead of Erhan Jajovski. Those two are still side by side. This is on board of the charge as we come through, trying to look up at the inside into third place. Van der Heijden moves back across. Oh, there's a touch in there, and they survive. Wow.
What car control. Unbelievable. Somehow they're still going. The top 6 all together.
Here's a look at the replay of the start. So are we just going to see someone floor it and then get sideways? Oh, contact. Jernej Simoncic.
That's what's happening then. It's not people flooring it on their own. It's Simoncic just preempted the start wrongly and drilled into the back of someone. And that's what started all of that melee behind.
Blakely in front. Kasdorp to the inside, though. Brugman in third. Jajovski's in the fight as well as they come through 4 again. There is Lucas Blakely in the bottom left. And he's going to lose out here to Kasdorp and Jajovski, who are going to come past. Blakely drops down into third position, and it's very, very wide, or almost 3 wide for third at the moment. Blakely, we're on board with here. Now we're on board with van der Heijden at the back of this little queue. Well, Jourdain's still in the fight as well, as Kasdorp and Jajovski go side by side.
Jajovski on the outside with Kasdorp. Blakely still third, Von der Heide still fifth. This is interesting for the Triple Crown. $25,000 at stake for these sim drivers. This is a huge prize, and it can only be won by the two that have already had a win in Monaco, and that was Lucas Blakely and Jan Von der Heide. And they're still both running in this front group, second and fifth. But look, the front group is now 9 long again.
So stressful down the back straight. Lap 8 of 18, so we're not quite at half race distance yet. Blakely hits the front once more. To the outside, Jajovski is on the inside. Brugman's in third, through 4, and out onto the front straight. Blakely still hanging on the outside. Here's the run, though, from Yuri Kasdorp. He's got the quickest speed out of all of them, and he tries to slice through the middle. 10 laps to go. Brugman is in the lead now. Kasdorp into second. Blakely's getting pushed out high, but somehow manages to keep the momentum and hold on to second place.
Yeah, he could do with some sort of incident now in that second half of the pack just to stop this being a 9-car train. Any mistake and there's just 8 cars ready to gobble up the leader in a split second. It's just so close. And somehow they're all still clean. 3 wide, Blakely on the outside, passing Kasdorp. He's got the momentum.
Over the front start line again. Into 1. Oh, it's 4 wide. Kasdorp holds the lead. Jajovski was in second briefly, but then it's Blakely in second. We're on board with Brugman running in 4th. Out onto the back stretch. Lap 10 of 18. Here comes Brugman. He's got the run. Can he find a hole going through the middle there? Oh, that's a brave one from Jajovski, but he's not able to make it stick. Here they come through 4 again and out over the start-finish straight. Is this the chance? There goes the look to the inside for Brugman, but as soon as you go to the inside, you lose the draft and you lose all of your pace advantage. Look at them all swarming over the line into turn 1. This has been such good, clean racing, and as soon as I say that, we go 3 wide, and there's a bit of contact, a bit more contact. Everybody is somehow still out there and driving, and I think we're on board with Muhammed Patel here, who's just got up into 5th place.
Peyo Peev was the man that was just knocked to the inside there, and he's lost some ground. So I think he's dropped out of that. 9 cars has become 8 cars, but still very close in spite of that contact. The top 4 have made a slight break here. Lucas Blakely is amongst them, with Kasdorp leading from Jajovski. And now this is the chance they needed. Blakely in that top group, which is just halved in size.
Kasdorp leading. Brugman second. Jajovski third. Blakely 4th. There you see Lucas Blakely. Kasdorp still in front, Blakely to the outside, then the battle further back with Jan Von der Heide and Jourdain and the like, completing the rest of the top 10. Lap 13 of 18 now, so 6 to go. Look at that slipstream effect coming into 1, but it's all very well getting the toe. You've got to try and find the position to use it. Blakely again. Oh, they're squeezing towards the grass on the back straight there, Blakely. Now to the outside.
Jajovski's loving it. Permanent grin on his face today. It's good to see. I'm loving this too. 4 cars still for the lead. They seem to have broken away from the second bunch, which includes Von der Heide, our other chance to win the Triple Crown, the other man that could do it. Blakely, though, still running in second place behind Jajovski. Oh, this is so close.
Oh, wheel to wheel. Down the back straight. Lap 14 of 18. Blakely to the outside. Those top 2 now have broken clear just a little bit, but they're going side by side. And Brugman and Kasdorp are going to use the toe to catch back up to the back of them. And there goes Brugman to the middle. All 3 wide into 1. Kasdorp's in there as well in 4th place. Blakely gets shuffled back to 3rd. but he manages to keep the speed through turn 1, on board with Kasdorp. Oh, he on the grass, just about survives. That 15 of 18.
You've got to be so precise with those steering inputs, and Kasdorp just nudged that left front onto the grass and lost a bit of momentum. But he should just very quickly catch up to the back of these three who was just squabbling away. Kasdorp will just draft back behind them, and he already has done basically by the end of the lap. He's lost nothing for that. He's going to come with a lot of momentum as well.
I'm going to jump in here as well, guys, and remind you that for the sim drivers, if they win the Triple Crown, it's $25,000 cash prize. So for Blakely, he should be on this right now.
And he will do anything he can, I think, to try and take this win, as they all will. But there is $25,000 on the line for Blakely. Someone's off on the inside. I think it was a back marker. Here we are on board with Muhammed Patel, who's coming to join this fight as well. There's a few contacts in there. Someone's in the wall, and I think that's Blakely. Is Blakely getting wiped out there? Had a bit of contact. Is he still in the running, or is he out of it? Haven't got the tower on the left-hand side. He looks disappointed in the bottom left, and he's out of the top 5 now.
I think that was Blakely. I think that was Blakely and Van Ida, so that's both guys in contention for the Triple Crown.
Yeah, looked as though they came together, and that means that Jajovski is out in front still. Brugman second, Kasdorp third, Patel fourth, Blakely fifth, so he is still in the fight, just about, but we are going to be starting the final lap of the race. Jajovski has the lead as we get the white flag. Covers the inside. Brugman and Kasdorp are with him. Muhammed Patel is suddenly there. Finished second in Monaco 2 weeks ago. And now Mo Patel is trying to take the win at Indianapolis. Kasdorp in the lead. Yep, he's got ahead of Jajovski. Down the back straight. Blakely is still in the fight, but he's a bit too far away for my liking as they come into 3. Kasdorp holds the lead on the inside. Someone going very high there. Jajovski's in second. Muhammed Patel gets up into third. Blakely is up into fourth, and he taps the wall on the exit of the final corner. Kasdorp and Jajovski drive to the line. And it is Kasdorp, just, who takes the win ahead of Erhan Jajovski. And Muhammed Patel finishes in third position after an intense look at the relief on Yuri Kasdorp's face. Unbelievable.
That meant a lot to him. So close at the line with Erhan Jajovski. And wow, I think that's Kasdorp's first win, you know, and he's been at the front in so many Sim Masters races. And I think finally that's his first win. He's been so close so many times, and now he's done it.
So the victory coming for Yuri Kasdorp. Here's a look at the replay of Jajovski trying to. Kasdorp, I thought, was celebrating a bit early, to be honest with you, because it was closer than he would have liked at the line.
It was so close. I thought he might get pipped, but he didn't, and he took a very, very good win. What a race, though!
Yeah, absolutely thrilling stuff. It is Yuri Kasdorp who takes the win. I think we can speak to him now after wrapping up the win in race number 2 for the Sim Masters. Yuri, what an incredible race that was. A great fight, and you just held on. That was close.
Oh, yeah. I saw Erhan next to me, and I wasn't sure I was going to make it. But I had a slider of the last corner, and I think Erhan didn't really expect it, and he had to check up a bit.
We've seen you running at the front in the Race All-Star Series for months now, but is this your first win? I think it is.
I won the first race at the end of last season, Silverstone as well.
Yeah, okay. How was it for you racing on an oval? Because have a lot of you sim racers never raced it before?
We have once or twice, but it's in general something new for us, and it's really exciting. It's much different racing than it is on road. Everything's really close, and it's really, really difficult to stay as close as you can for 18 laps.
Yeah, it was really entertaining. Congratulations, Yuri. See you next week.
Thanks. See you.
And I love that Jajovski came through the order last time, nearly got away with one, had the accident. He's through again. He jumps straight into chat and interacts with everyone. He was a finalist at World's Fastest Gamer, which actually ran the entirety on ESPN last week. So you guys can check that out on the ESPN app and see the entire series. Incredible race. That might have been the race of the day so far. What a bunch of action. We'll talk a lot more about it when we come back. And there was so much going on. I thought I'd jump in at the end just because of how much the Triple Crown matters. And again, for the sim drivers, it was $25,000. And Blakely and Van der Heide, incredible performance to be that close and stay out of trouble. But ultimately, they kind of tripped over each other, which is perhaps fitting because they're both trying so hard to get to the front, Jolyon. That's got to be a little bittersweet, but a great race from pretty much everyone.
Yeah, it's the lottery of Indy. That's the thing. And Blakely particularly, he was in that lead gaggle the entire race long, side by side with Jajovski, and was basically side by side for about 4 or 5 laps near the end. But then just slip back, one tiny bit of contact and you're on the back foot and it goes away. It's just being in the right place at the right time. And then Yuri Kasdorp nailed it on that last lap.
Yeah, beautifully timed pass. I've been kind of watching. I mentioned in the first pro race that I thought the person in second in the last corner could get the draft, but it looks like Kasdorp, as he said, he kind of mistimed Jajovski, held him up a little bit. Again, we've got our new segment. Jolyon, we'll throw it to you. It's the Rocket Driver of the Day. Well, we had 2 races in the Sim Masters category. We've had tons of action, more changes for position than an entire Formula One season. Who's the driver, Jolyon?
I'd say shout out to Simoncic, that first race win. But, that start of the second race was too messy for my liking. Yuri Kasdorp, great win as well. But I'm going to give it to Erhan Jajovski because he was at the front in both races, just missed out on the second one by a whisker. The first one, he was in the fight until he had the mammoth shunt that he did. And he had a smile on his face all day as well. So I appreciated that.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, Jajovski looking very fast, very pacey. And the smile the whole time. Yeah, having the time of his life, it seemed, as he was driving around out there. We are going to shift our focus to the legends. We've got 2 drivers left in it, Peyo and Alonso, that can still potentially win a virtual Triple Crown, the Rocket Triple Crown. But again, they've got to do it in reverse order, Jack. And this is going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, well, I think the first time the Legends did the Indianapolis Oval, Alonso and Button found it a little bit easy. This is the start of Alonso's reverse grid race, and I think everybody else is just a bit more up to speed now, to be honest with you. I don't think Alonso is going to be able to just drive through the order like he did here. I think everybody else is a bit more experienced. He gets lucky at various times. He was, in clear air to take a good line into 2. Then everybody sort of has a mammoth shunt coming into, I think it's coming out of turn 4. It all goes chaotic. There he wheel bangs with someone, sticks someone in the wall, but gets away with it. Then coming through the left-hander of 4, it all kicks off, and he's able to just drive through the middle of them. So I think he was fortunate in the last time they did a reverse grid race in Indy, and I think it's going to be a lot more difficult for him this afternoon.
Yeah, it seems like a lot more people have become familiar with the drafting strategy and certainly with their sim rigs over time. Bruno Senna has to be a front runner for driver of the day, perhaps for the pro drivers as well. Didn't quite get it done in the second race, but what a debut. Maybe Karun can get a chance in the Legends because he looked pretty solid on debut as well. Had a good battle with Alonso Jolyon throughout pretty much the entire second half of the first race.
Well, Karun Chandok pressured Fernando Alonso into a mistake. Last corner of the race, and Fernando cracked. So anything's possible here.
Anything is. We'll find out when we come back exactly what will happen and if we've got a championship for the Triple Crown. The All-Star Series, powered by Rocket Phones, gets into its final race of the day, the Legends Reverse Grid Race, and it's all about Alonso and Peyo. Montoya leads the championship. He's been second every single race, but only Andy Peyo or Fernando Alonso, with a win here now, will be able to challenge for the Triple Crown in a week's time.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. We'll keep our eyes on Peyo and Alonso, but also Alonso needs a good result to get himself back into championship contention, because Montoya, with another second place, his third second place in 3 races, is top of the standings. So there's a bit of pressure on Alonso here to actually get a good result if he wants to keep his championship fight alive, because we've not seen him in a championship fight necessarily. There is Juan Pablo Montoya getting ready to go, and well, I didn't mean go quite so literally.
Well, we're getting ready to go, no question about it. But
but I don't want to know where he's just had to go, is my point.
Oh, yes, okay, right, fair enough. Maybe he had to just get up and adjust something because Seb had it all changed. Who knows?
Yeah.
I like that he said that Seb was pushing him to go faster as well. It's nice to have someone to challenge you in the house as well.
Most of the time, they've been saying that they have to share the sim, and that's the bad thing. So now sharing the sim seems like it's a good thing.
Well, they're in the same car for the first time, aren't they?
That's very true.
That's the difference. And now both Montoyas have been very quick today.
So we have got Max Papis on pole position for this reverse grid race. Keep your eye there in 11th. Andy Peyo as he gets ready to try and stake a claim for the Triple Crown. David Brabham won race 1. He's going to be 13th on the grid ahead of Petter Solberg in 14th. Jenson Button in 15th spot. Then we have got Montoya and Tony Kanaan starting at the back of the grid. After he didn't qualify for race 1. I'm not sure if he raced in race 1, actually, Kanaan. So if he's out there in race 2, that is great to see. On the rolling up lap now, and we'll see what Papis can do. Let's see what Chandok can do, Jolyon, from the front row of the grid.
He had a great race, didn't he? Let's see. From the rolling start then, Karen Chandok and Max Papis. Papis on the inside, Chandok on the outside. Steve Soper in third. This has got a recipe for disaster, but let's just see. It's all eyes towards the back for Fernando Alonso and Juan Pablo Montoya. Let's see what they can do coming through.
Let's go for the final race of the day at Indianapolis, round 2 of the Triple Crown competition. Chandok's a long way in front of the poleman Papis. Slow down, Karun. Race starts around this corner. Not quite sure what's happening here, but away they go now to start the race. Chandok has slowed down, and now the race gets underway with Papis in front. Chandok drops into the back of the pack. Penalty potentially for Jason Plato, but Papis in front. Steve Soper, the touring car legend, is in second place, but not long because Tom Coronel, a touring car driver, is up into second spot. Liuzzi fourth, Chandok fifth. Travis Pastrana is up into sixth position, and we're on board with Alonso in the top right.
And all clean so far then. Karen Chandok finally managed to slow down and take the start. And he lost a few places as a result of that. Not quite sure where he got confused, and he's in the wars now with Steve Soper. That's Karun and Steve Soper out. And the rest of them still going. Max Papis in the lead of the race then from pole, but not for long. Tom Coronel through.
20 laps to go. Coronel hits the front. Papis second. Liuzzi third. Travis Pastrana is up into fourth position. There's chaos going on there as Alonso gains a load of places. He's suddenly up into ninth position.
That's Andy Peyo on his inside.
Yeah. And Alonso now going past Button and up into seventh spot. What a charge this is from Fernando Alonso. Up into seventh position. It's 3 for the lead. Papis, Coronel, and Tonio Liuzzi.
They've made a nice break, haven't they, from Travis Pastrana. A great drive up in fourth so far with Darren Turner, who's having a good day. And then there's another little break to the Alonso Button Peyo battle. But yeah, the top 3 getting away here. There they go. Nothing separating them. Liuzzi now at the front. And they've got good 2 seconds to Plato. If they can work together, they've got a great chance here. Where's Plato come from?
Not sure where he was born, actually, but he's up into fourth place now as we see Tom Coronel in the bottom left, Papis in front still, Liuzzi second. All of the orangey cars are out in front at the moment. Papis, Liuzzi and Coronel. They've got the gap to Plato at 2.5 seconds. Then it's Pastrana. There is Tonio Liuzzi. And Liuzzi in the bottom left, now moving up into the lead. Papis comes with him. Coronel comes with him. And Papis drops into third place. Petter Solberg, fastest lap of the race, on board with Darren Turner in sixth place as he is tucked up behind Travis Pastrana. Pastrana is one of those You never thought we'd have a lot of these drivers together on one grid. It's all a bit surreal. As Alonso, did he just stick Darren Turner in the wall? I think he might have done. Not ideal, but we'll see what happens there. But Pastrana is the one where it's like you never thought you'd see Pastrana on a racetrack with any of these guys.
No, or Petter Solberg, really. Alonso's had another little touch, and that's Button coming back through. So he's not having things his own way here. But yeah, Solberg's been a revelation since he joined, and now we've got Travis Pastrana as well. It's great to see. The Legends grid that's ever-changing, and yeah, getting some real surprise names into the mix. But still, Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button, probably the two to watch here. 5th and 6th. Can they come through and get in amongst Coronel, Liuzzi and Papis, who are right now keeping things very clean out front?
Lap 5 of 21. Coronel still in front at the moment with Liuzzi in 2nd place, although obviously as soon as I say that, it is Papis going to the inside and moving up into 2nd. Button and Plato are fighting over 4th position. That's the view of Plato from Button's car. Alonso is in that fight as well, just behind. Button hits 4th place. Plato 5th, Alonso 6th, Pastrana still there in 7th, and I think, was that Alonso going super defensive? It might have been Pastrana actually on Priaulx. Plato back to the inside of Button. Button getting up pretty high there and losing a bit of momentum. That's Pastrana out of shape. Big lose for Pastrana, and he wrecks, coming through 3.
That's a shame there. Good drive, looks to have come to an early end really for Travis Pastrana. Alonso and Button then, both slipstreaming past the Oxford-born Jason Plato into turn 1. Nice clean move.
Alonso now right with Button as those two. Now, will they work together? Because they work together, they can get up to Liuzzi, Coronel, Papis fairly straightforwardly as Coronel goes back into the lead of the race, but they're going side by side through 3 there, so Button defending at the moment from Alonso.
They're getting there though. They are. Look, you can see top right, you can see Alonso, then Button ahead, and then that top 3. They're closing all the time. And 3rd of the way through the race already. Yeah, I think it's a matter of time before we have Alonso and Button, maybe with Plato and Solberg as well, joining that 3-car train in the main shot. Look, there's Alonso and Button. They're really catching now.
Down the back straight. Coronel now to the inside of Liuzzi. And here they come. Alonso and Button have joined. Plato is there or thereabouts with them. Liuzzi back now to the inside of Coronel. And there goes Alonso immediately on the attack and up into 3rd place. A little bit of a wheel bang with Papis. That allows Button through. Fernando Alonso and Andy Priaulx, the last 2 that could win the Triple Crown. And Alonso is charging to the front straight away, but he's got Button coming with him. Down the back stretch into 3. Coronel covering the inside. Coronel's going to be a difficult man to pass. On board with Button in the top right.
Super close. Super close now. Jenson Button 4th place. That's the lead just there now. They've both passed Papis, who's down in 5th, and now Alonso drafting outside of Liuzzi. Is he going to go inside of Coronel? He is. And Jenson Button might come with him as well. Alonso to the front.
Into 2. Will Alonso be able to break away though? It's one thing hitting the front, but with Tom Coronel trying to come past and Jenson Button trying to go past Button, will he go to the outside or will he just sit in? He just sits in behind Alonso and gets up into 2nd, does he? Coronel is still going to be there somewhere, but I think they've made the break. Coronel got out of shape, and that allows Liuzzi up into 3rd.
Top 2 are gone. Look at that. Alonso and Button now have gone from 4th and 5th to breaking away at the front in a matter of 2 laps. And now Coronel defending from Papis and Liuzzi, and that battle goes on, but they've just lost Alonso and Button, who have serenely gone into the distance.
Lap 11 of 21. Here we go then. A replay of a month or so ago when these two fought it out on the oval circuit at Indianapolis. We've got Travis Pastrana in the top right. Who is going to come out on top this time? It was Alonso that prevailed. What has Button learned since then? There you can see Travis Pastrana down in the bottom left. Prio's up into 6th place. We're on board with Button. 10 laps to go, so this is going to be a long old battle, this, isn't it?
Cat and mouse, but this is exactly what we saw last month between these two. They broke away, and then they don't need to fight now. They come round to put a lap on Pastrana, but they don't need to fight right now. We've seen it in the last few races as well, in fact all day. It's the run to the line, it's the final lap, that's where the race is decided. Now they just need to not have contact with each other and just keep pushing each other along. Keep clear of Coronel, Liuzzi and the rest of them.
Lap 13 of 21. Alonso leading. They've got 3.5 seconds.
The tactics are going to be fascinating now because they've done this before.
Yeah.
They've done exactly this track, exactly these cars, from exactly this position, and Fernando Alonso just held on. And it was Button attacking on the run to the line, but he couldn't make it. What do they do now? How these two guys? I know I said all the legends are. To be successful in motorsport, I think you've got to be pretty smart, and these two are some of the smartest. Button and Alonso. Button now going through to the inside. It's a chess game now between the two of them. Where do they want to position their car? When do they want to be ahead? Alonso, they're not defending from Button. He's not too fussed about the lead right now, it seems. He let Jensen have the inside, but where does he go next? And what does Jensen do to react?
So Button said after the last race he wanted to be in the lead on the final lap because then you can just block and defend. But going on to the final lap, through 3, he made a mistake, got loose at the rear, had to correct. That allowed Alonso into the lead, and then he could just defend. So I think that certainly was where Button's mindset was 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the same this time? Because if it is, he will want to have the lead onto the final lap of the race.
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it? He's got the lead. Fernando Alonso then right behind him. Someone's had an incident. Is it Andy Prio or Jason Plato, I think, has gone down with Tonio Liuzzi. That was in that battle for third place, so that's a shame for them. They were both having good drives. But yeah, here we go then. Button still leading from Alonso, and it does look like he doesn't want to let this lead slip now.
Lap 15 of 21. Juan Pablo Montoya, whose championship lead might take a bit of a hit here, is in 13th place, trying to get past Tony Kanaan. Great to have Tony Kanaan still racing in real life in IndyCar, and he gets a bit of a nudge there from Montoya as they come over the straight. Still Button ahead of Alonso for the lead. Pastrana is there going in 16th place after his moment. Had a bit of a time in NASCAR, did Travis Pastrana, but more synonymous with his rally driving exploits, you would say, as Montoya, Kanaan and Soper all battle over 11th place. Across the line comes Button again to start lap 17 out of 21. Still with Alonso sitting in behind. 5 to go.
Right, I hypothesise that Button wants to start the last lap first and Alonso wants to start it second. Because
really?
Fernando's not trying to pass Button now at all. He's just sitting there. There's no attack just yet. Maybe that will change right now. But look, he's right in the draft, but he's just happy sitting there in second. There's no fight from Alonso just yet, and Button, we know that he wants to be in the lead on the last lap, but Alonso doesn't look like he's challenging him. With the draft, you'd expect them to be side by side all the time now.
Lap 19 of 21. Button still in front.
Alonso's just chilling there, 2/10 back. I mean, the concentration, you can see it on his face in the bottom left. He's really, really focused. But, yeah, he's not fussed about... Let's see, on board. He's just sitting about this distance, and he doesn't seem too fussed about getting closer.
Solberg up into 3rd, Papis 4th, Coronel 5th, Pirro, Servia, Turner, Brabham and Dominguez. The rest of the top 10. 19 laps, or 18 laps down. 3 to go now. And as you say, Alonso seems to be fairly happy there at the moment. Are we going to see him go, unless he goes on the penultimate lap, unless that's when he tries to go for it?
We get a 2-lap showdown.
Yeah.
We're heading towards it right now, in towards turn 3. Then the short stretch to 4, and then we're going to be onto the penultimate lap.
Here's a replay of Andy Priaulx in 18th position. Plato there on the inside. Plato drifts out a little bit. Oh, that's a biggie.
Priaulx minding his own business there and caught up with Plato and Liuzzi, who are having their own accident on the outside. Here we go. Alonso now. Now you've got to be trying to push, surely. Let's look at the draft then. Behind Jenson Button. It's not huge. Little scratch of the head for Fernando. Very, very chilled.
Here we go then. You might be right here, you know. Through the left-hander of 4 and onto the final lap. Has Button changed his... well, he's got what he wants. Last time he wanted to be on the lead on the last lap. White flag is out. Alonso has trailed Button for the whole race. What is he going to do onto the back straight? Button surely covers the inside straight away. Alonso in the draft. This time he doesn't ease off. He goes to the outside coming into 3. Solberg still running in 3rd position. Through 3, and Alonso's got it crossed up, and he's off. Alonso spins. Alonso throws away the Triple Crown, and Jenson Button out across the line wins at Indianapolis. A great race and a delighted Button. Solberg is 2nd and Papis is 3rd. So Alonso finishes in 4th, doesn't even make the top 3. And Jenson Button is the winner. Wow.
And we have no Triple Crown winner then. That was it. And let's see. He just got in slightly too low, Fernando. And honestly, I think Button's tactic was better there. I think the tactic of being ahead and blocking to the line, it's a shame that we didn't get to see the run to the flag. It would have been amazing between the two. But it looked like he had a lot of work to do, to be honest, Alonso.
So Jenson Button takes the win. Petter Solberg finishes in 2nd place. Max Papis in 3rd. Alonso 4th. So we'll see a little bit later on what that does to the championship standings. Pirro in 5th. Servia 6th. Turner, Coronel, Brabham and Dominguez complete the rest of the top 10. But another intense fight at the front between Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso. Juan Pablo Montoya finished in 12th place, so I think that's going to be pretty tight as far as the championship is concerned. Karen Chandok didn't finish the race. We saw Priaulx and Liuzzi have a big accident. Great to have Travis Pastrana in the series, but unfortunately only a 16th place finish for him in this 2nd race. But nevertheless, great to have Travis with us. Plato finished in 15th after running with Button in the early stages towards the front of the order. And Soper also started on I think he might have been leading at one point, wasn't he? But maybe up in 2nd place. Well, let's speak to Fernando Alonso then, finishing in 4th place in that race after another intense battle with Jenson Button in what was a very entertaining tour around the Indianapolis racetrack. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll be back next week with the final race in the Triple Crown, which is going to be Le Mans. But we can now speak to Fernando Alonso after that action-packed end to the Indianapolis Oval race for the Legends Trophy. Won both races last time, did Fernando, but it wasn't to be this time. Just coming out onto the final lap, a little bit loose and up into the wall and not quite finishing within the top 3. So hopefully we'll be able to speak to Fernando pretty soon.
Indianapolis
and, let's have
racetrack.
a word with him now, shall we? Fernando, we saw you following Jenson, and then the last lap was going to be the move, I guess. What happened?
Yeah, it was all planned for the last lap. I think the slipstream was huge today, so yeah, I planned it on the back straight, and if not on the line after turn 4. But running very close to the car was quite difficult at the end of the race. So I tried to let always a little bit of a space with Jenson the laps before that. So yeah, definitely, not not a nice weekend, but overall, I think especially the first one, I think I've been a little bit unlucky with Peter touching Montoya and then coming from the grass. My car was damaged from that moment. So obviously good points, and let's see how the overall classification is after this one.
Okay, great. Thank you again for joining us today. Great race, really fun to watch.
Interesting as well that Alonso has the famous clip now gifted all over the internet of him getting down low on the apron and saving it in real life, and that's what costs him here. And what if it's fitting that Indy is what robs him of the Triple Crown in real life? He comes close here today, and it's Button who gets the last lap after the battle, 3-4 weeks ago. Pretty remarkable battle, though, it had to be said. I love the strategic element. I love that Alonso sat and plotted it, and that's why those guys are as good as they are. We'll talk all about the championship when we get back. And I say talk about the championship because that's all that remains. The Triple Crown remains as elusive in the virtual world as it is in real life. 6 drivers today came in with a chance, not one of them picking up a win on the day. Pretty remarkable overall, I think, Jolyon.
I'll admit, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought at least that Fernando Alonso was going to take this down to the last weekend. I mean, he did the double when we raced here before. He literally won the first race in a similar way to that one just unfolded, apart from he beat Jenson Button on the last lap. And then he came from the back to win again. I thought, okay, he's going to get the one win, surely. But lo and behold, he didn't. And to be honest, the other races, the lottery was even more. I mean, the field's so tight in the Pro Cup and the Sim Masters. It was always going to be difficult. Lucas Blakely was close. But yeah, it doesn't happen.
I want to give a shout out as well. One thing we didn't touch on, Connor Daly, obviously racing today, pro IndyCar driver on Indy. Their season's actually started again. And a lot of naysayers out there were saying, oh, well, these guys are doing it because there's nothing else. There's nothing else. Well, his season's back underway and he is still here doing this. So I would like to believe that a lot of these guys, that's right, TK as well. A lot of these guys are going to be sticking around and enjoying this sim. And I think it's awesome to see that they have gotten themselves that involved. And Connor, hilarious his whole time through in the IndyCar stuff. So always a joy to see him involved. Driver of the day, the Rocket Driver of the Day. We're going to decide that in just a second. Of course, we'll get to the overall driver of the day in just a second, but first we have to pick one from the Legends, or rather, Jolyon, you have to pick one from the Legends battles today.
It's so tough to call. Jenson Button for me.
All right.
Purely because actually he beat Fernando Alonso in a straight fight. The only other person that could have won it would be David Brabham, who I love that David Brabham won the race today, and he did great. But to be honest, he did a great start. He kept out of trouble, but then he had no fight to the flag. He was just 3 seconds clear, and no one could chase him down. So for that reason, I'll give it to Jenson.
It doesn't count, Jack, because Jolyon picks, but you shook your head. Where would you go if it were up to you?
Were it up to me, I think I would have gone Brabham, but then Jolyon said his reasoning, and now I agree with him.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not even going to say because it's not my job to, and there's too many that I could have. Okay, well, now you've put me on the spot. It's a tough one. I mean, Montoya's second place again was impressive, the way he was clean at the front, but obviously second race didn't really work for him. I think Brabham's definitely a contender, given that he stood out.
Maybe this is
quite
why we
a
don't
bit.
let you do it, because you don't.
This is what I'll just name everyone. It's just being diplomatic about it. We'll be back in just a sec. Well, Button's betrayal, it doesn't quite have the same sound. He definitely gets redemption over Alonso as he picks up the win in the Legends Trophy. Great for the championship fight again, and could be a third championship in a row if Button can capitalize next week as well. Jack, he's standing by because that was an incredible win, and I would love to hear more about those tactics.
Well, let's speak to him now then, shall we? Jenson, congratulations on the win. Last time at Indy, you wanted to be ahead going on to the last lap. Didn't quite work out. Looked like Fernando was happy to be behind you today.
Yeah, well, first of all, awesome to get a win. Really cool. It's always so much fun driving with these guys, and they're all so different in the way that they drive. Some guys will happily sit in and help you fight to the front and fight with you, and other guys are just, wow, it's just action. But it was really cool. But no, we didn't know when the last lap was until it said last lap, and we were on the last lap. So I wanted to be in front, and I knew that if I blocked, it would be very difficult to overtake, and you lose a lot of downforce, as you saw. This time it wasn't me that spun out; it was Fernando. So no, a lot of fun. Very happy.
Okay, great. Congratulations, and see you next week.
Cheers.
The way he's performed because the Legends, of course, as we said, did Indy already once. The way he's performed in these ovals is maybe there's a chance he gives it a go in real life. Maybe Button's another one we can see. Give it a whirl. Obviously, he's done some WEC, another Triple Crown contender, perhaps. I mean, he said he got dizzy last time, but he's got the pace.
I feel like he said he would never do it before in the past, but I didn't he then say now he's driven it on the sim, he definitely wouldn't do it. I think he said that, didn't he?
Well, we'll find out right now out of the overall driver of the day, because we've had Jajovski, Vautier, and Button as the three contenders. Jolyon, I'll let you get to it in a second, because the Rocket driver of the day overall is about to be named. Well, I mentioned the three that you've already nominated from each division, Jajovski, Vautier, and now Button. And of course, the winner of this takes a nice Rocket package home, a new phone, some earbuds, lots of great goodies from Rockets, and there can only be one, Jolyon.
Yeah, this one is a very difficult call because not many people had two good races, and the one that did was Erhan Jajovski, but he didn't get a win. So ultimately, I'm going to give it to Tristan Vautier. Really good win. And then he got in the top 10 on the reverse grid as well. So great drive.
I thought you were going to go to Jajovski the way you led that in. So.
Yeah.
But well, his first one as well. That's very, very cool. Well, and of course, he gets now a 3D phone, which can go with his 3D VR, right? It all goes together. It's exactly. It's new technology. Of course, we did say the Triple Crown is now out of contention. It's elusive in the virtual world as well. But the championship is what it's all about moving forward to Le Mans, where I'll allude to it again. We've got some sprint races and then a 1 hour, all three on track at the same time. GT and LMP1 and LMP2 cars, it sounds like. We'll get lots more detail on that moving forward. But here's where we sit in each respective championship. It's Augustin Campino that actually leads the way in the Pro Championship, Jack.
Yeah, well, he had a solid day, didn't he? Basically, he cropped up with a podium in the second race, and then Roland and Dillman are right in there as well. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see Canapino there because he just had a solid day, and I think that's kind of what it was all about today, wasn't it? It was all about just a solid day, get some points on the board, try and escape the carnage, and you'll be top of the championship. That's what's happened to Canapino. And Canapino, Van Uitert, Roland, Dillman are going to be the four drivers for me that are in contention going into Le Mans.
Well, and Van Uitert and Roland obviously were the two that had the chance for the Triple Crown. I imagine there'll be a different points table as well for the longer race at Le Mans, which could certainly change the way that goes as well. We'll look at the other two tables in just a second because lots to talk about there as well. Couple of highlights today, just a few. Many of them crashes before the green flag even, perhaps. Massive shunts, incredible passes, lots of three. I don't even know where to begin with this, so I'm going to let Jack try and figure it out. What's your highlight today?
Chess at 220 miles an hour. Just the pace of it all. Like, it's so... Oh, this oval racing is so strangely fast yet slow. You know, it unfolds over such a long period of time while they're still doing 220 miles an hour, but they're just, when you're both doing 220 miles an hour, the moves look tiny, the progress looks tiny, and I think that whole thing today was fascinating and great to see. And if those of you are at home who are watching are new to oval racing, which I know sort of the European gang are going to be, then hopefully you enjoyed it, because I thought it was really, really cool.
What are your thoughts on that, Jolyon?
You know what? I think Jack summed it up pretty well with that beautiful oxymoron, fast but slow. For me, actually, the reverse grid Sim Masters race, when you had such sort of, well, $25,000 at stake for two drivers that were in that lead fight. And it just was so fascinating until the end. And the win was decided by nothing.
For me, yeah. I think you took it right away from me. That's exactly where I was going to go. That was one of the best races we've had on the series. That lead train was 9 cars at a time, 2 drivers battling it out for a chance at $25,000 in the Triple Crown. That was amazing. So that's where I'll go with it. Great competition for you guys as well. Perhaps the highlight of the day still to be determined for one of you lucky people. And here's how you can maybe get a win. If you'd like the chance to win a Rocket phone featuring 3D screen technology, just go to rocketphones.com and tell us, what is the name of the former Formula One Vice World Champion who currently drives for the Rocket Venturi Formula E team? Not only that, there will be some great offers available exclusively to race fans on rocketphones.com right now, with huge discounts of up to 60% on selected handsets. Still want more? Well, we've got you covered. You can also receive a free pair of Rocket earbud headphones when you buy any phone. All you need to do is enter the promo code RACEOFFER. This contest is open to all race fans, no matter where you live in the world. So why wait? Head to rocketphones.com right now to check out the deals. And with your mobile phone, whether it's a Rocket or otherwise, you can follow all of our socials at We Are The Race, Instagram, Twitter. Hit subscribe and like down below. Had a few questions come through, but Paul McGinnis says, when is the commentators race? And I want to know the same thing, producers. I want to get it on. If you guys want to see it, maybe just put a 1 in the chat. Just spam it if you want a commentators race. Who would you want to see in it with us 3? We'll find out. We'll be right back after the break. And Jack's going a little weird. Well, the high-speed Indianapolis circuit delivered on the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket phones. There will be no Rocket Triple Crown winner, but the championship is very much still on. We've already touched on the pro driving and the standards where they sit after 2 races. We'll look now at the Sim Masters and Legends because the top of the tables are getting very, very close. Jack, I think the Sim Masters, that could have... I mean, we'll look at it here. Liam DeWall, consistency is key, but man, oh man, any of those guys could have taken more points or less points in a heartbeat today.
I think no driver is going to be happy with how today panned out. Actually, maybe Muhammed Patel, getting up into second in the standings is a good effort from him. Yuri Kasdorp got his second win of the campaign, so that puts him in third place. I think Blakely will be the frustrated one. The most impressive, actually, for me in all of this is David Greco, because he's sort of a not an old-timer in the sim racing world, but a little bit. But he's getting towards the front of the order. Well, not even the front of the order. He's just picking up points, being consistent, and is up into 5th place. So full credit to David Greco.
Well, 3 second places and then a 12th. Is Montoya still at the top? That's the question. Is Alonso ahead after a spin on the final lap? We'll take a look. We've got the table now for the Legends Trophy. Ooh, that's close.
Wow, brilliant. Well, it's basically the same. Like Alonso has extended his lead by 1 point, at the top of the championship, because he did have a 2-point margin. Now he has a 3-point margin. Brabham up in third. And you know what? He's not out of contention here, is he? He's only 14 points off Fernando Alonso going into Le Mans, where he sort of has his greatest pedigree, let's say. So that's a strong effort from David Brabham. He's a bit of an outsider. Of course, Jenson Button didn't do 2 weeks ago, so that's why he's not quite in title contention going into Le Mans.
Great to have him back this week, though, because that's a rivalry we got to see again, and it's been pretty special. Perhaps it's been the best rivalry we've had throughout this series. You think back even to Pirro and Button and Magnussen and Button, and now Alonso and Button, Jolyon. It's become quite a special treat for this series.
It's good. The rivalry, they're the former teammates at McLaren, and they know each other so well. They've got so much respect for each other. You can see that in the race that we just had there. Just no contact. They know what they're doing. I hope they're both back next week. Le Mans will be pretty spectacular with the two of them going head-to-head over a longer race.
Well, there's only one thing better than champagne after a win, and no, it's not rose water. It's milk, and how fitting for Indy that the victor has a lovely glass of milk. There's David Brabham, obviously pretty happy with today.
Brilliant stuff. Love a bit of milk.
That makes him my Legends driver of the day now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unless Jensen's been chinning some milk as well.
A new change. Well, there you go. Thanks to everyone for joining us. It's great to be back after a week off. I know around the world, some places are easing tensions and the lockdown is getting loosened, but please be safe, social distance, and stay smart because let's face it, we're going to get back into the real life hopefully soon. But until then, we look forward to seeing you next week for the finale at Le Mans on the Race All-Star Series.
Welcome to the race.
And the lights are out. Great start then.
The Moto2 champion steps into the team that's dominating the championship.
I'm Scott Mitchell from the race. We're here at Barcelona.
Sebastian Vettel is fighting for his career.
There has to be a title assault, and anything less will be a failure.
Oh, and a spin!
You lost the GoPro.
It's taken more than 700 years for ABK beer to be exported from Germany, but finally, we can all enjoy it. Brewed in Bavaria to the same exacting standards since 1308, ABK beer, awarded Supreme Champion at the International Beer Challenge, is crafted from only the very finest German barley, yeast, and hops, using the purest of alpine waters. ABK beer, 700 years of Bavarian tradition and heritage.